Good evening, good evening. Come on in, come on in. Happy Friday. Come on in. Let's have our nightcap. Friday's nightcap. We got some things to talk about. What Azalea Banks says, the girls are fighting, the girls are fighting. So what we're going to say, the boys are fighting, the boys are fighting. Come on in. The boys are fighting. The boys are fighting. Come on in. Listen, Marco Rubio and Elon Musk are both on they I got time today cuz energy. They like, listen, you about to catch these hands. Come on in. You know, in the words of the late Kevin Samuels, you can't make this ish up. Come on in. We got some things to talk about. We got some things to talk about, and we gonna talk about them. Amy Coney Barrett said, listen, y'all need to put some respect on my name. Put some respect on my name. She said, stop dragging me behind this vote. Are we here for the Supreme Court ruling that was not in favor of the President Trump? Hey, Yvonne, welcome. Hit the like button for me, please, please. Welcome, welcome. Let me see. Let me see if I can. Y'all come on in here. We got some things to talk about. The boys are fighting. Marco Rubio's on this. You about to catch these hands. Elon, I'm sick of you. I'm sick of you. I'm about to cuss you out in a way that President Trump haven't done yet. Listen, I'm about to do a forum. I'm sick of you. I'm sick of you. That's the energy I feel like Marco Rubio is on. Welcome, welcome. You all hit the like button. Stromboni, welcome, welcome. Hit the like button. We're going to get into some things. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Word on the curve is Elon Musk and Marco Rubio got into it. Yes, sir. They got into it today. Yeah, they got into it. They had a meeting, I guess a cabinet meeting. And Elon supposedly basically told Marco, you ain't doing a damn thing. You ain't doing enough. And Marco didn't appreciate that. And Trump sat and watched and ate his popcorn. Trump sat and watched and ate his popcorn while the fellas duked it out. I guess he like, listen, y'all men, and I'm going to let y'all work it out. But Elon does not feel that Marco Rubio really does anything more than just go in front of a camera. Do you feel like Marco Rubio carries his weight in the Trump administration or as a politician? Because Elon said he ain't doing a damn thing. Elon says, Marco, like, you don't do nothing but just go in front of a camera. Like, sir, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, you don't do nothing. Why are you here? And Marco Rubio did not appreciate that. Because he's like, what? Like, you just coming in and trying to take over and run every damn thing, overstep. So just because you're the loudest person don't mean that you're right. So Marco Rubio's like, listen, I have, impacted jobs, layoffs, things. So what do you mean I'm not doing anything? You want me to hire these people back again so you can fire them? and make it look like you doing something. So that was the argument today. Who fired the most people? And Elon said, Marco Rubio, you ain't done nothing. You ain't impacted no job. Like, what are you doing, sir? And Rubio's on that F you can kiss my type energy. So they were like, Trump kind of just sat and watched, and then he eventually kind of stepped in, and he was like, okay, Marco, you've been doing a wonderful job, and you work hard, and so he tried to step in and save the day, but Marco's still on. I still can't stand his ass, Trump. I mean, I appreciate the kind words, but I still can't stand him. So I have a question for you. Do you all feel like Elon is a bad look for President Trump? Because what they're saying is that the things that Elon is doing, I guess underneath the Doge, is impacting Trump's approval rating. So there are many outlets that are saying like his approval rating isn't really high. It's maybe like in the 30s. Now, I don't know how true that is, but what they're saying is that a lot of people, even like Republicans, they're not in support of the way things are being done in the Trump administration. So it's impacting his approval rating. And people they're just not liking how he's going about conducting business. They just don't like it. And a lot of people feel like Elon is like, they don't like Elon and what he's doing, how he's doing it. They'd rather just Trump be the one to do whatever it is that needs to be done and remove Elon from the equation, because he wasn't voted by the American people to come and make changes and do these things that are taking place. So because Elon is the face of like a lot of these changes, people are not necessarily happy with Trump because of that. Because they feel like, okay, he's running the show, he's taking over. We need for you to do this. We're not liking this. So from what I've come to learn is that Trump is trying to take back reins and say, you know what, going forward, Elon, we're going to be the ones that's going to approve. We'll listen to you as you make your suggestions and things like that. But we're going to kind of take over when it comes to just kind of, just pressing the button to say, hey, let's go. We're going to enforce this, implement this. We're not going to let you and your team do that anymore. And it said that the reason why Trump is trying to switch gears and to try to take back control is because it's impacting his approval rating. It's impacting his approval rating. So he has to kind of reel it back in. And he has to try to come off as though he's the one that's in control, like what the people want to see. And so I think that's a good idea, because I think a lot of what's been happening, it's giving that Trump is just sitting in the background. Like he's not doing his job as just the leader to kind of implement things and make decisions. He's just going off of what Elon said. And it's just like, okay, have at it. And people aren't here for that. And it's impacting his rating. It's impacting his rating. Y'all let me know. Like, do you feel like Elon has too much of a presence in the White House? Or do you feel like, no, it's pretty balanced. Trump is right there. Elon got Doge. We trust him and what he's looking into and his findings. We're here for it. Like, how do you feel? How do you feel? You all, please hit the like button as you come on in. I'll get into the comments. Big Nico say Elon is the GOAT. Okay. MAGA. Yeah. So who's running the show? Who's running the show? Is Elon running the show? Is Trump running the show? Do you feel like Trump need to step it up and, have more of a presence? So that's the question. And because that is a question, that's why supposedly the numbers aren't looking as well as they could because of that, because that's the question. And I can't recall ever in my 44 years of I've been living that someone's been a leader and it's been questioned on who's actually running the show, like how it is with Trump. Like when, let's just say, who will we use? I guess I don't even think it was questioned like that, even when in the beginning, early stages, when Obama, no, when Biden was in the White House, where people questioned like, okay, well, who's doing this? Who's making the decisions? I think towards the end, when it became more apparent that he mentally just kind of wasn't really there like he needed to be, I think people started to kind of question who was really running the show. But not early on like now, where people are like who's really running the show. And I don't think that's a good look for President Trump, for people to kind of question like who's really running things. So I think it would be best for him to start like making more of a presence when it comes to just these decisions and the administration, and let kind of Elon kind of fall back. I think it would be a better look. And I think it would, make a difference with his numbers when it comes to the approval rating and how people feel about him if they seen him take more of a stance. So now let's talk about this Supreme Court ruling. The Supreme Court ruled recently against Trump when it came to the U.S. aid funds. So Trump, remember recently Trump, Elon, whatever, Doge, they dismantled and just said, okay, USA, bye-bye. We finna put all this money, we finna put everything on hold. So with that came, there was about $2 billion that was caught up in that. And on the lower court level, for the federal level, the court ruled that Trump was in violation with not dispersing those funds to the different people or organizations it should have been going to, based off of the services rendered. So Trump, Elon, Doge, whatever, they were like, no, we don't want those monies going out the door. We want to freeze it. So it went up to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court recently voted on a 5-4, saying no, those monies need to be dispersed. The reason why they need to be dispersed is because they are monies that was promised to people, agencies who performed work. So because they perform these duties, the work, now the work that they perform was centered around like, thank you, welcome, New West Coast, thank you, someone just subscribed. Thank you for anyone who just recently subscribed. Please hit the like button as you come on in. So these funds, the $2 billion, they were going out to like organizations or these countries and things to help them with like programs centered around like AIDS, disease, let's just say weather situations centered around weather. If there was like bad weather in these countries or that tore up stuff, like they would help with that. They would help with education in these countries with improving that. So these were just funds, like charitable monies that was going out for charitable things. And so the federal court said, you know what? Because these people, these agencies have already done these services, they deserve to get paid. So we're saying those monies, the federal judge who ruled, I guess in favor of, I don't know if you want to call it a Biden administration, because they were the ones who had all this in place. Because they had approved this already and the services were done, we believe that the money should get paid out to those people and those agencies. Fine. Well, Amy, so there's Amy, what's her name? Justice Amy Coney Barrett. She's a member on the Supreme Court who Trump put in, I think, in 2020. She voted in favor that, yes, the money should be spent and sent out. So a lot of people are upset about that because they were like, wait a minute, you're voting against him. He's the one who put you in there. What's going on? Because your vote, had you voted the other way, it would have been a favorable outcome for him. Because remember, I said it was 5-4. So all of the women voted to send the money out. So with it on the Supreme Court, there's like 4 women. I think it was 4 women and 1 man. They voted, no, this money need to go out the door. These people need this money. Then there were 4 men who said, no, this money should stay. It shouldn't go out. They lost. They lost. So people are giving Justice Amy Coney the business because she voted in favor of sending the money out, paying it out. So here's my thing. Let me get into some of the comments before I get into my opinion on it. Because any of you all, you may be new to my channel, maybe not, but I'm Trump supporter, voted for him. That's where my vote is. But there are some things that he does, his administration have done, that has cause for concern for me. And I'll come out here and I'll talk about it. So listen, I'm an equal opportunist. So if I'm for you, I'm riding for you, I'm like here for you. I'm going to say that. If there's something that you're doing and I'm not here for, I'm going to say that too. So that's where I'm at with that. So let me get into some of these comments. Welcome you all. Please come on in. I hope you are having a wonderful evening. Please hit the like button as you come in here. It says, Jazz Winder says 21st century is women's century, women power. So, hey, Pam. Hello, hello. So, Pam, you mad at Amy Coney Barrett. So, listen. So, Amy voted against him. So, they like, what the F, Amy? Like, what's going on? Like, what's going on? Like, why are you voting against him? So, from my understanding, this money, the $2 billion, is to pay out for services that was already rendered, like things that already taken place. You can let me know in the chat if your understanding is something different. But from what I've come to understand, these were services that were already done by people. So this $2 billion is to go towards paying these people and these agencies for services that they already did. So when I look at it that way, I'm like, okay, well, just myself, for an example, if I did a service for someone, I'm going to expect to be paid. So I'm trying to understand, where is Amy wrong for agreeing or believing that, okay, yes, I ride for Trump, but in this situation, I feel like, no, he's wrong. I feel like if there were services already completed, then we need to pay out the money. Now, if you want to say, okay, after we pay this money out, no more, we're not going to run this business and pay into these organizations anymore going forward, fine. But for those who've already rendered services, we'll pay you out, but you ain't getting no more. Kind of like an employee, like these people who just lost their jobs. It's only fair that at least up until the day they worked, that they're still paid out, right? So if they worked up until March 7th, they should get paid out up until March 7th, right? I don't think it's fair to say, okay, people who worked up until March 7th, we stopped having the funds back in February. So after February 15th, we ain't got no money to be paying for nothing else. Like, how fair is that? So that's what I'm trying to understand, the different views that people are having as it pertains to this $2 billion payout when it comes to these services that supposedly were rendered. Like, why is it an issue to pay out the money to take care of these people who already did the service, if they did the service? Because I haven't seen any reports that said that the people did not do the service in these countries for whatever. Like I said, this money was going into providing money and resources for people who are providing services centered around like AIDS, hunger, natural catastrophes, Those type of things, like charitable things. This money was was supposedly being paid out for those things. Things that basically had already taken place, like past. You know how you do a service, so say someone, you may have a business and people contract you to provide a service for them, and then you invoice them and say, hey, this is what you owe. So this is how I'm thinking about it. These people provided these services, did this, that, and it's like, okay, hey, USA, this is what you owe. So USA like, okay, bet, let's pay it out. But Trump's like, no, we don't want to pay out because it was stupid anyway for you all to be trying to invest in something like that. Well, my thing is it's already done. So if the work is done, you got to just go ahead and take care of it, right? Go ahead and pay it out and say, going forward, we're not participating with that anymore. We're not going to do, we're not investing in that anymore. We ain't got it. We on our Tasha K. We ain't got it going forward. But at least up until this point, we're going to pay it out. Lisa, your job, we can't afford to keep you. But up until this point, we're going to pay you out. We're going to pay your salary and then we're going to stop. Like, to me, that's basic. But this is my understanding of what's going on here. This is my understanding of what's going on here. Michael says some of it may have been already, but the budget was until October 20th. So I'd say a large portion isn't done yet. Okay. Thank you for adding that, Michael. So that's what I've been wondering, because I hadn't really seen any like receipts or paperwork to show, okay, what projects were done, what hadn't been done. I would think that since it was raised up to the courts, that would have kind of came out in the courts to show like, okay, this has been done. So this is why we're saying the monies need to be paid out, because this was done already. So I think if something was done already, pay that out. Okay, if it wasn't done, okay, well then you don't need to pay it out. But if it was done already, go ahead and pay it out. So that makes sense to me. And if that was the way they voted based on that logic, I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't see anything wrong with it. If it's based off of that, I don't see anything wrong with it. So I don't know, as far as like with people, when it comes to Amy, are people looking at it or her as like either way, regardless of whatever comes across your desk associated with Trump, you need to be voting for it? Do you all think that that's basically what the expectation is? That regardless of whatever it is, if it comes across your desk, you need to vote for it. If it comes across your desk and Trump is wanting something to happen, Amy, I need for you, you have to vote for it. That doesn't make sense to me, because her being put in a position is based on her using good judgment, common sense, things like that, and to make a decision based on the circumstances what's presented, not based on who presented it. Like, we don't make decisions based on the who. We make decisions based on the details, the nature, like what's presented before us, the circumstances. And I think that if that is what she did, then I don't see anything wrong with it. And me being someone who says, hey, I'm in the corner, I am a Trump supporter, I don't always rock with everything he does. I have plenty. If you're new to my channel, check out some of my previous lives. I have multiple lives where I'll talk about the things that I'm not here for. And then I have lives where I'll talk about the things that I am here for. Michael said, I agree with you. She should follow the Constitution of them, but they don't. The Constitution, all of them, but they don't. I guess in a perfect world, it would be, that's how it would go. You would just follow the Constitution. You would follow laws. You would do what's right, and it not be centered based on party. And it's unfortunate that a lot of things and decisions are made strictly on party. That, okay, a Democrat raised it up, to the Supreme Court, and so we want to block it. A Republican raised it up to the Supreme Court, so we want to block it. It shouldn't be based on that. It should be based on the details of the situation. And people should understand that. Martin, in Germany, we have the same problems. It's like, I mean, it's, to me, it's giving that people are expected to be like bought and paid for, which means that if somebody gives you money or put you in a certain position, you're supposed to be a rider regardless for whatever it is they do. Like, right or wrong, I put you in this position, Amy. So whatever I present before you, you need to be voting for it. And that is not right. That is not right. And I'm wondering if this is why Amy didn't vote that way, because she's like, listen, I understand the expectation that you all have of me, or, or some people have of me just because Trump placed me in the seat. But I owe it also to the people to make the best decision, to make the best decision based on the information that's presented before me. So the Supreme Court said the ruling was, we're kicking it back down to the federal court. And Trump, you all need to follow the guidelines that are laid out by the federal court. So if they're saying you need to pay this money out, you need to do it by this date, this, that, and third, we're saying our ruling is that you must adhere to that. So that's an L for President Trump. That's an L for him. They're like, okay, we've heard it. We've presided over it. We're ruling in favor of the federal government. The federal court, I'm sorry, we're ruling in favor of the federal court. And the federal court says you must disperse these funds or else. So, hey, what's up, Dr. J? Welcome. So, with that being said, that's one, he took an L. Now, he has another court case that he recently lost. I've talked about it. California probationary workers sued him, and they won on the federal court level. That ruling came out like last weekend. The judge in California, federal judge again, I'm pretty sure they're going to try to raise it probably up to the Supreme Court. But the federal judge said, you wrongfully fired these people. You wrongfully fired these people because the OPM, they do not have the right to fire anyone they didn't hire. So these people were wrongfully terminated. They were wrongfully terminated. It was about like 6 of them. I think it was about 6 of them. Their union and other organizations basically filed the lawsuit. That's who raised the lawsuit up. And the judge said, yes, these are wrongful terminations. And the next step is Trump and his administration, or whoever represent them, they need to come to the court and listen, you got some splaining to do. I need for you to step to the front of the congregation and talk your talk and help me understand why you let these people go. That was the ruling. You all can look into that. That was by Judge William Alsup in the state of California. And I believe that ruling was in regards to the firing of 6 probationary workers for the state of California. So this week, I did hear that the Trump administration, whoever, OPM, they released a statement saying, well, we technically weren't the ones that fired them, but the directive to fire them came from them, even to the agency. So what happened was, Friday on February 14th, Valentine's Day, OPM reached out to the agencies that basically did the hiring, who these probationary workers, I guess they were hired through the agency. I've never worked a government job before, so I don't know if that's the norm with government work, but there's agencies involved. So the OPM reached out to the agency and said, hey, by close of business Monday, which was February 17th, you need to terminate the employment of these probationary workers. And they did that. So then OPM circled back around and was like, well, we didn't technically fire them. Well, you the one gave the directive. Yes, you did. Them agencies wasn't trying to fire these people. You told them, listen, this is what you need to do, and you need to have it done by close of business Monday, February 17th. So they did just that. Them emails started going. They did that. So that is that. So the AP, the government, they're trying to say, well, no, it was the agency that, that did the firing. Stop it. I say, stop it. Y'all playing on the semantics. Y'all know that this directive came from you all, OPM, from the government. This directive came from you. So they released that statement, but I didn't hear nothing. It didn't have no bearing on what the court's judgment was. It still was, listen, I said what I said. Y'all wrongfully terminated these people. So I suppose whatever their argument is when they go to court, because remember the judge now is like, hey, y'all need to come to court. They gonna have to speak, say whatever they got to say before that federal judge in the court. Now, once they go to court and talk to that federal judge, then from there, if the administration still don't like how he ruled, then I would imagine the next step again would be raising it up, food chain, and it's making its way to the Supreme Court, and that's going to be on that. That is going to be on that. Let me see. West Coast, Jackson said, we're going bankrupt. I don't know. We're in a tough spot financially as far as our country. I hear Canada's in a tough spot too. I heard they ain't got no money either. I hear that Canada ain't got no money either. Everybody out here struggling. It's hard out here for a pimp. It is. It's hard. It is hard out here for a pimp. It's hard. It is. It's very hard. And every day I'm seeing different headlines and things that basically says, okay, yes, it's hard out here, no matter how you slice it and dice it. It's tough out here. And with the loss of jobs, we got the tariff situation just crazy. We got Canada like, yo, well, hell, you play, you want to play, let's play, let the games begin. Everybody got time today. It's just like, hell, folks ain't got no jobs. So guess what that means? Folks ain't got nothing but time to be playing. Everybody got time. Everybody blood pressure up. Elon and Marco Rubio, they going at it. Like, everybody got a lot of pressure on them. And I understand and I get it. People ain't got money. People ain't got jobs. People ain't got food. People ain't got gas. Like, it's rough. It's rough out here for people, and I get it. West Coast says, question, what's your opinion on getting through this government drought? For me right now, people who are employed, whether you're in government or just private, I think people who are employed right now should sit tight and not be so quick to probably move around and change jobs. Especially if you work for a company that you've been at for a lot of years. Because even as we've seen with the government and a lot of these with the layoffs, and it impacted probationary workers, new hires. Some people had already been with the company for many years, but they were in new positions. So the reason why I say this is because let's just say you leave from working for Coca-Cola and you've been there for 10 years, you're a tenured employee, and you leave to go work for Pepsi. Guess what? Now you're a new employee. You're in a probationary period. And you're going to be new for a little minute. So if that company starts to be impacted by these changes that's going on with the economy, guess what? You're a new hire. So if they start wanting to make cuts, it's not going to be surprised or shocking if they start with making cuts on more recent hires. So I would say for now, for people who do have jobs and it's paying their bills, try to sit tight and kind of stay on that. Just try to sit tight at least for the next six months to see what's happening with the economy and how the different companies are reacting to it. Because every day new companies are announcing a layoff. Not every other day, child, every day. I recently did a live a day or so ago talking about the 90 plus companies that announced for the month of March alone that will be laying off. I shared a website that you can go to where you can see the companies that are going to be laid off. So a website that where these companies go and report this information. It's out there. Do your research. So if you are looking into wanting to change your job, research that company that you're looking to jump over to see when's the last time they done layoffs. How stable is that company? Did they just do layoffs last month? Like really pay attention to what industry that company is in and how it's being impacted currently. You have to research. That's why I say for now, everybody should just put things on pause when it comes to like your jobs, when it comes to probably even buying a house, like making big purchases, cars, houses. 6 months. Just give it 6 months. Give it at least a good 6 months just to see how things are being impacted in these sectors. To give it enough time to where you're able to see some type of sense of stability again when it comes to some things. When you're seeing a pretty good run of not hearing about job losses. When you see a pretty, good run about hearing about like home, the buying experience being favorable for the buyers, the interest rate being, good and low, like where you're seeing a trend where you're like, okay, I've been watching this for about 6 to 12 months and I'm seeing it's been looking a certain type of way that makes me feel like, all right, then I feel good about kind of jumping out there and jumping into it. You got to watch it. You got to watch it. And right now, I just don't think it's the time to be making life-changing moves and decisions. I just don't think it is. Please welcome. Good evening, everyone. Please hit the like button as you come on in. Dr. J said, I agree, Sheik. Yvonne said, yes, this is not the time to be bullish with spending. Watch your coin. Watch your purse. Like everything is going up. I go in the store. I remember back in the day where if I spent $150 on groceries, that cart was like filled to the top. That was like what you call a grocery haul. Now I can easily spend $100. Like it's a good day if my bill is underneath the $100 because things cost so much to where it doesn't take much for me to be over $100 with a family of 5. Not at all. These are different times that we live in. And we have to accept the reality of them and move accordingly. You got to move accordingly. Let me tell y'all what has me up at night, what I can't stop thinking about. Let's talk about with the Department of Education and that being removed over to the state level. All these things that are taking place, like it doesn't impact everyone. So everyone don't have the same emotions and opinions. Like everybody just don't give a damn about everything that's taking place with these changes that President Trump is making because everybody's not impacted by everything. So you're moved often by the things that you feel that's impacting you. So one thing that is impacting me in my household is the Department of Education. I have 3 children, ages 15, 16. Those 2 are in high school. And I have a son who's second year in college. Birthday is next Friday, March 14th. He'll be 20 years old. So he's like at the halfway mark through college. So what has me up at night is me wondering if he'll be able to get through the 4-year, just the undergrad experience with the help of financial aid, the federal financial aid that has gotten us through his second year, nearing his second year of college. Going into his 3rd year, is that not going to be a thing? Where's the money going to come from the federal aid that he normally relies on for college. Because I'm on my Tasha K, I ain't got it. I don't have that amount of money that financial aid was using to contribute to paying for my son's education. I ain't got it. I ain't got it. It was thousands of dollars. So I live in the state of Georgia. In the state of Georgia, we have what we call the Hope Scholarship. And the Hope Scholarship is based on your grades. So my son went off to school on the Hope Scholarship. So everything except for housing, the Hope Scholarship will pay for. The housing, so my son has housing at school. Financial aid is covering that. Then any other difference of monies that are on the books that Hope isn't covering, it's made up from the federal loans. So that's where the money comes from. So there's nothing else that I'm like paying like out of pocket like that for his college experience. That's how he's been going to school. So now with the change with the funding, and if federal loans is no longer going to be a thing and it's being kicked to the state level, my question, do the state got the money? Let's talk about that. So if now the state, Georgia is going to be expected to pay out the monies that the federal government was paying out, do Georgia got it or will they be on they I ain't got it? They Tasha K, I ain't got it. Because who's going to regulate that? Then another layer to it is what person is going to oversee that? Because to me, that sounds like now y'all got to create a whole new a whole new department and staff to oversee. Like you got to create a whole new sector in the state government to even man that. I got to wondering if the FAFSA links still work. Y'all know about FAFSA? That's the federal site where you'll go in there and each year when you got to update your, put your tax information in, all your financials, and then that's where based off of the information you put in the system, that's how they determine what kind of funding you get for the next school year. Is that still around? Because I haven't tried logging into FAFSA since all this stuff transpired, y'all. I haven't had to because the funding for first semester and second semester has already got dispersed. Like it's already been applied to the accounts. The school's already got their money. So the next time I have to be concerned about like monies would be for the fall, which would be my son's junior year in college. So I'm like, okay, well, normally the monies for that pay out, I think this school year, it paid out in like September. School starts in August. The funding hits his account for school in September when he's probably about 2 or 3 weeks at this point into the school year when the funding hit. So my question is, prior to September, will I know if whether or not there's going to be funding available for my son to get through his junior year? Because I need to know if whether or not he needs to even return back to school. Because if I don't have it, I'm on my Tasha K, I don't have it to pay out of pocket for him to go to college, there is no need with me sending him back to school. I need to know this information. I need to know this information in advance so I can prepare, just like many other people do. Listen, child, y'all let me know if I'm off base, if I ain't making sense. But these are things that we got to think about. This has my concern more so with my college son versus my grade school kids because they're in high school. The funding, this change, it's not that much of an impact on them in that type of way as it is from my adult college age son. It's an impact on him. So that's why I'm like, okay, where's his money coming from? Dr. J said probably going to say they don't have it, sadly. So guess what? It's going to be myself and many other adults, parents, college students who are going to get that same message. I ain't got it. Because here's the thing, from my experience, being a college student before in the past, if you ain't got the money to pay these classes up front, if they have not identified where this money is coming from, they do not let you register for those classes. For example, If you are enrolled in a college program and you're taking classes, and let's just say you failed that class, and let's just say that class was $2,000, and next second semester is coming up and you're wanting to register for your classes, guess who ain't there and register for no classes if that bill ain't paid? You're not going to be able to go into another class if you did not settle that account balance. They got to know that this is how the college, and this is how they operate. They not letting you take these classes and then worrying about the money later. What's happened is that financial aid don't pay for failed classes. So in the beginning, financial aid saying, yo, I got this amount of money on it. I'm paying this amount of money. You failed them classes, financial aid ain't paying for that. Like, look, like they say taking it back, or if they didn't disperse all the money, they're going to disperse everything except for whatever that would normally go towards that failed class, because you didn't pass it. So now you got this balance because you failed the class and you got to take it again. But you ain't taking no class again unless you pay for that failed one. You got to pay for that one out of pocket, because financial aid does not pay for failed classes. And in some schools, I've learned some schools don't even consider a D passing. I remember working with a young lady, and she was a college student at Georgia State, and she had gotten a D in the class, and she said it was not, she didn't pass that class because it was a D. She said it wasn't, she didn't pass it, it was a D. Whereas when I was in grade school, you know, if you got a D, that was passing. But I want to say in current times, there is no grade letter D anymore in school. From what I've seen, you know, with being a parent and watching and seeing my kids' grades, you have A, B, C, and failing. Anything underneath a 70 is failing. So they don't even acknowledge a D anymore. Remember, I'm in the state of Georgia. There is no D. It's A, B, or C. That's it. A 69 is failing. So now, like in the college environment, they move in the same way. There is no D. That's a fail. So guess what? Guess who got a class they got to come up with the money for? You got to pay for that. You got to pay for that. And you got a lot of people who go to college and they're working students. They work jobs to try to put themselves through college. So now this is going to be like an added stressor, because you already just trying to work a job to pay rent, to keep a roof over your head, food on the table, while also trying to make sure you got the money together to pay for these classes. And like my son, he's about to be at the halfway mark. So think about these people who are like not already right now, juniors and seniors, like at the end. And now this is a concern they got to have. Because they on they Tasha K, I ain't got it type. Everybody talking about what the hell they ain't got. Who got it? Who has it? I need to know who have it. Kevin said, crazy. That's the same in Pittsburgh. What's up, Kevin Smith? Are you in Pittsburgh? Let me see. You got an H at the end. Are you in Pennsylvania? I'm from Pittsburgh, California. But everybody on there, I ain't got it. But when it comes time for you to need it, you ain't trying to hear when somebody telling you I ain't got it. Because I'm not going to be trying to hear it when my government telling me in the summertime I ain't got it. When I'm trying to get my son ready. Okay, thank you for that, Kevin Smith. I'm not going to be trying to hear when they trying to tell me in July I ain't got it. Hell, I'm wondering what kind of notice they finna damn give people. Because remember, most schools, you know, when you're on a semester system, school start in August. So these college students, they're preparing to go back to school. Some go back in July. If you're an athlete, a lot of times those athletes will go back to school in like July and start doing their thing with conditioning and things like that. And then the other students will go back in August. We gonna need to know something before then as to what's gonna happen with the funding. And like I said, I have the question. I got to try it to see, hell, if financial aid doesn't still work. Is FAFSA still a thing? Because that's what I'm used to dealing with. I'm used to signing into FAFSA and putting my little information in and them sending me my little confirmation and saying, okay, you good, you Gucci, everything approved. And that's on that. So, speaking of FAFSA, let me share my screen. Let me show y'all. I just went to, I went ahead. I had my laptop right here in front of me. I said, well, let me go to FAFSA. Let me see what it say. Can y'all see my screen? There's a note at the top in blue. I'll read it out. It says a federal court issued an injunction preventing the U.S. Department of Education from implementing and savings on the valuable education save plan and parts of other income-driven repayment IDR plans. As a result, the IDR and online loan consolidation applications are temporarily unavailable. Browsers can still submit a paper loan consolidation application. So, basically, they saying, listen here, we ain't got nothing for you. We ain't got nothing for you. Like that's what that's saying to me. We ain't got nothing for you. So that's what has my attention. What has your attention? Because listen, I know these illegal immigrants like hell. I know what the hell got my attention. What got my attention is having to goddamn go back home to Mexico, Colombia, wherever all these other, that's what got their attention. So everybody got their thing. What's your thing? I told y'all what my thing is. What is your thing? What is your thing? Everybody got their thing. There's a lot of things going on. And I understand the root of why, President Trump is wanting to implement a lot of these changes and make things more efficient. But my issue has always just been how it's been going about. It's almost like overnight just pulling the rug from underneath people, where there's been no time for people to gather their thoughts or get their footing or put a game plan in place. No, like, advance notice. It's just like overnight you happen to acquiesce to the new change. And in many situations, like, it's not even possible for people to just pivot like that, especially when you're dealing with resources and money. For someone to pivot from relying each semester on, say, $6,000 of federal funding to now that no longer being an option, and to have to figure out where the money will now come from, since the federal government is on their I ain't got it, and your local state is on their, well, I ain't got it either. That is where we are at. Like, this is real stuff. This is real stuff. These are real concerns that Americans have. They're rightful concerns. So you got some people who got caught up in not only did they lose their jobs, but now they have to be concerned about their federal funding. I have a friend. She lost her job she was a federal worker. She worked for IRS. She's still technically employed through May 15th because they identified her position as a position that's needed because it's tax filing season. But she's also a college student. She's a single mother, and she attends college online. I know sis ain't over there paying out of pocket her college tuition. I know she's relying on federal funding just like most people, because college is expensive. College is expensive. So here it is. She is someone that now will have the concern of not only being unemployed in very soon, but also she has the stress of wondering, okay, where is this money going to come from to pay for my education? Kevin says, yeah, this is wild as ever. Dr. J says, quite scary too, Kevin. Yes, like, this is real. This is real. And I think the part that sends people is that the people who are making these decisions got deep pockets, unlimited resources. So it has you to think like, oh, well, yeah, it's easy for you to say what somebody don't need. These jobs aren't needed. This education isn't needed because you're not in a situation of need. You don't know what that's like because that's never been your experience. You were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. Or you didn't have money. I don't know what kind of money Elon Musk came from, if he came from money. But we know for a very, very, very long time, he's had money. So these are people to where their lifestyle, it doesn't have them to be thinking about, damn, stealing from Peter to pay Paul. Where am I going to get this from? Where am I going to get that from? I losing sleep about paying, deciding of whether or not you're going to pay your rent or pay your car note, because that's a real thing. Car notes out here are like whole mortgage payments and rent and apartment rent payments. Like that is a thing. Dr. J said, yes, Sheik, millionaires and billionaires, their pockets are very deep. So, of course, they don't have the same concerns. So, yes, somebody who got it can easily say what they feel like somebody don't need. You don't need that. Well, hell, it's easy for you to say because you got it. It's easy for you to say because you got it. It's always like that. It's like somebody going to the doctor. Somebody say, "Oh, I want to go have plastic surgery. I want to get my butt done." And then the chick with the big butt talking about, "You don't need that. Bitch, you already got it. That's why you saying it." You don't know what life like without an ass. You know what I'm saying? Like it's that. It's one of those things to where you can't relate if it's something you always had. You can't relate to the person who don't have it. So I get it. I understand it. I have more than a lot of people, but I also have less than a lot of people. So I get it. I understand that I don't have it because I'm employed. I'm married. I have double income. Like I have resources, but I'm still hollering I ain't got it. So I know that people that got less, my friend that got less than me, single parents, one income, holding it down, about to be unemployed as of May 15th. Like I understand the struggle because it's a struggle with me doing it with somebody, a partner. And there's so many people doing this thing called life alone. It's hard out here for a pimp. I told y'all that shit ain't that ain't no lie. It is. It's hard. And as I say, it's hard. People from all different background, cultural groups can relate to that statement that it's hard. It's not a black thing. It's not a white thing. It's not an Asian thing. It's not a Hispanic thing. It's just a human thing right now. Even I'll have people come in my comments from other countries that'll say it's hard. It's hard where they're located as well. It's very hard. So that's why we have to show empathy to one another and listen to the challenges that people have, especially as it pertains to resources, because you literally can have it today and then it be gone tomorrow. It seems like just yesterday when I wasn't concerned about my son's education and it being paid for, I felt like, okay, we got a game plan. We got to figure it out. And now today, I'm showing concern and my son's almost halfway through. What? 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 Like, it's like you wake up and it's like a nightmare with a lot of stuff that's going on. It is. It's like, how did we get here? Like, how did we get here? Because you all literally, it feels like overnight we got here. Like, how many of y'all feel like literally it's like in a blink of an eye, like we were like in a place where every third person didn't have no job? Like, it's crazy. It is crazy. Like 6 months ago, and when during election time and people were projecting as far as what it would be like under the Trump regime, like nobody, out of all the times I was hearing people talk about what they thought it would be like, I didn't see anyone saying that they felt like it was going to be like this, like this. They felt like, oh, okay, Trump will be on his stuff. He trying to, take care of immigration. But like, this shit is on a whole nother level that people didn't really see it taking place on. It like superseded everybody's expectations, no, regardless of what political party you're on. You're like, damn, I didn't see it being like this. Like, I knew it was going to be different because, of course, there's always going to be some differences as you're changing, under you're changing leaders. That's natural. That's common sense. But we didn't expect as a collective that it would be like this, where people are literally feeling like they're fighting for their lives and they work so hard. It's like I work too damn hard to be having these type of concerns. How am I having these type of concerns if my bottom line looks like this? My income looks like this. How my income look like this, but I'm feeling like this on this? I ain't got it. But though, looking at this, it's like, well, how you ain't, y'all, because it's so high to where you're going through your money, your resources, you're going through them quicker. Because because things cost a lot. So $20 don't feel like $20 no more. I remember I used to know someone years ago, and he and his wife would take out $20 every. Now think about this. So let me take you. This was probably going to be in year 2007. I met this person in 2007. He said him and his wife every week, so like every Sunday, they go to ATM, they each take out $20. That was lunch money for the week. What can you do with $20? Y'all think about it. What can you do with $20 today for lunch? Now, mind you, they would take out $20. The $20 was to be able to buy lunch. Can you all imagine a $20 bill from Monday through Friday stretching for lunch? So this is you going to some drive-through, because I'm painting a picture of what it was like. So in 2007, people so you're going to your Wendy's, your Arby's, your McDonald's, your Chick-fil-A. You got $20. They were doing this in 2007. Nowadays, y'all, $20, you're going through that in probably 1.5 meals. Depending on where you go, you damn sure ain't finna be getting 5 up out of it. Taco Bell prices ain't even Taco Bell prices no more. Y'all remember they had some shit, the 99-cent burrito. They ain't got nothing 99 cent no more. I can't even mess with it. It ain't not 99 cent no more. Now I be like, I'm not finna pay no $3 for no nachos when I can get me a whole burrito. Like, I'm not gonna do it. I can't mess with you, Taco Bell, no more, because your prices ain't Taco Belling no more. They not Taco Belling no more. So everything is just different. Dr. J say it ain't happening. West Coast says, I remember when I could make it off of $20 a week. And here's the thing. Back then, when he was doing it, I would see him doing it because we go to lunch and he would buy food and he didn't buy a soda. So he would get his meal and he would always drink water. I watched the $20 work. Like, it worked. It worked. And he was a finance guy. He had a degree in finance. So he was one of those people who paid attention. He was, he paid attention to, money. He was one of those type of people. But I literally watched him make it work. He made it work. I wonder what he doing today. Y'all think he done upped it to it's $60 a week? Because I don't even think $40 going to cut it. If he's eating out every day, I don't even think $40 budget would cut it. Your mama gal said a 99-cent burrito is now $2. Yes. Yes, it's not the same. Like, when I go places, I don't even see y'all. We should have known times was different when Burger King cut back and said you couldn't get a 10-piece nugget no more. How many of y'all know that about 3 years ago, Burger King, probably almost 3 years ago, Burger King stopped doing 10-piece nugget. Child, they give you 8. You are not finna think you finna go to Burger King and get you a 10-piece anymore. No, some of y'all probably didn't know that because you don't eat fast food or go there. No, I'm like, yeah, can I get a 10-piece? They be like, you mean 8? We don't do 10-piece no more. What? How? Where the other damn 2? Where the fuck where's the other 2? I need somebody to go to the back and find the 2. Who came up with the idea of say, you know what? Bet I got the best idea. I got the best idea going into 2023. How about we take the 10-piece down to an 8-piece? Charles, you know, that is a wonderful idea. Who the fuck came with that? Who came up with that? Because that makes no sense to me. But yes, take your ass to Burger King. You gonna get your fucking feelings hurt if you think you finna walk up out of there with a fucking 10-piece. That shit's not happening. You gonna get an 8 and fucking be happy. And if you don't like them 8, your monkey ass finna order a whole nother 4-piece set. And that shit finna be over $1. It's gonna be $1 and some change for you to get you the extra 4. So I'm in there goddamn doing Chinese math and shit, trying to add up to fucking 10 for my kid. Because I'm like, well, motherfucker, you said it only come with goddamn 8. All right, then. Now, what y'all got on this other little menu? Because I'm trying to fucking add up to 10. I need to fucking get to 10. I'm going to hold this bitch up, I'll hold this line up until we get to goddamn 10. Because I need a fucking 10. What am I supposed to go tell the babies when they do that? Because, you know, the kids can fucking count. Mama, I'm missing too, because you know their ass is going to tell you when they missing some shit. I ain't got my toy. Where the fuck is my toy? I need my toy. So I'm in there trying to do math. Talking about, all right, then, let me get that number 3. And can you do me that 4-piece over there on the side? Because you trying to add up to the goddamn 10. That's what the fuck you guys to do at Burger King these days. If you think you want you a damn 10-piece. Otherwise, you better be goddamn happy with a damn 8. So you know what? I stopped doing that goddamn extra math shit. The kids just have to fucking get used to the fucking 8. If you want the damn nuggets, your goddamn ass got to understand the shit just don't come with goddamn 8. Because I'm tired of doing all these separate orders and doing Chinese math just to try to fucking add up to that. No, we're not doing that. But you eat them damn fries and you finna be happy with these 8, or you get you some goddamn else from the menu. I'm tired of playing with them. I can't do this no more. We're just going to have to get used to 8. So that's where we're at. So Burger King, you getting 8. And y'all, that was almost like 3 years ago. And that was just crazy work to me. It was just like, what? Why? What sense does this make? Yes. So times have been hard for a minute now. Times has been hard for a minute. This is where we're at. It is what it is. And we all have to find ways to adjust. And my goddamn kids had to adjust to goddamn 8 pieces. They had to damn adjust to 8 damn nuggets. It was hard. It was a challenge. But hell, we're here. They know that shit come with 8 and there is no 10. It's hard out here for a pimp. It is. It's really hard, but this is where we're at. This is where we're at. So my advice to any of you is to not make any knee-jerk moves. Be strategic with what you do. Just go into thought. Run it by some people who you trust. Do your research. Listen to conversations that people have about just the financial market. I was listening to a news clip about housing here in Atlanta. I live in Metro Atlanta. I live in the suburbs, but I'm in Metro Atlanta, and was just talking about just the cost of housing and things. And it just talked about how much, you know, the average 1-bedroom rent is going for, I think it said $1,500 here in Atlanta for a 1-bedroom apartment. And the houses are going like, if you're finding a house under $300,000, a single family home, that is an awesome deal, even if it is in the hood, because that's where the hell it's going to be here in Georgia. If it's under $300,000, oh, it's in the hood all day long. And you just going to be damn happy with it. But that's the situation. That's what's going on. There are people who have homes and they have basements. So what they're doing is they're turning like their basements into like an apartments and getting it set up and stuff and renting it out. Some people are doing this. It was a man who did that when he found himself, his hours had got cut at work. So in order to be able to continue to pay for his house, he had a basement, and he just made that into just like an apartment, and he rented out for $1,200. And he said it's very hard because he has to be the maintenance. He's everything. He got to take care of everything because this is his. He has a tenant. He said it's very hard, but he has to do what he has to do. Things are very hard out here for people. There's a couple who said they got married a year ago. They got married at one of the family members' house. houses. They said weddings right now are going on average of about 30,000. So if you're wanting a wedding, on average, people are paying about $30,000 for a wedding. So people are making a decision on whether or not they want to put that money in a wedding or if they want to put that money into purchasing a home. And then some people, they ain't got the money for the wedding or the house because it's expensive. So there are some families that are, taking advantage of deals where there may be a builder saying, hey, you buy over here, we'll pay 10,000 for your closing costs. But a lot of times, when these builders are offering these incentives and money, it's centered around you getting approved with their lender. And, as someone who's purchased a couple of homes before, I understand that you're not always going to get approved by everyone. You may not get approved by the builder's lender. And a lot of times the incentives that they offer you is if you're approved by their lender. So it's hard. It's hard, but you have to find ways that will allow for you to keep as much money in your pocket. So if you are, say, able to get approved by their lender, and it's going to, result in you having a significant savings, then that's the way to go, right? But again, not everyone can get approved by the builder's lender, and they have to go to another lender who's able to make it work. So in that case, those people are losing out on some of those incentives because they had to go that route, which means more money out of pocket. It is hard out here. And even as I talk about how much houses cost, do you know still here in Georgia, it's still a buyer's market because there's still way more people who are in the market to buy a home than there are homes available. Builders in Georgia cannot keep up with the demand for homes, even though these prices are what they are. Y'all don't ask me who buying these houses and what kind of money they got, because I just can't imagine, in today's market, I just can't imagine being able to do it in today's market. I'm just going to say that. Like, with the prices, everything, I just can't imagine. But there are a lot of people still who are on the market with buying homes. And I don't understand. Dr. J says, 20,000 wedding, purchasing home. I would choose number 2. Yes. That's what I did when I got married over 20 years ago. There was no wedding. Courthouse all day long. Goddamn Judge Judy married us. I promise that lady name was Judge Judy. Her name was Judge Judy. I remember it. We literally closed on our house, and then right after closing, went to the Justice of the Peace. And that was October 1st, 2004. Y'all ever notice that them damn courthouse weddings be lasting longer than the damn 20, 30, 40, 50, $60,000 wedding? Is there something to that? Let me find out. Because there's so many people to where they're still paying on the wedding even when they're no longer with the person anymore. How many of y'all know people like that? And even if you don't know for sure that's their situation, you speculating that that's their situation. Because they forked out a lot of money on the ring and a house, and they're not even together anymore. That is an entire thing. That is a real thing. Courthouse all day long, 20 plus years. We had to make a decision, the house or the wedding. We had to come up with money, down payment, all of that. Remember I talked about incentives they give you and things when you can use their lender versus not. We couldn't use their lender. We had to get our own. So because we had to get our own, more money out the pocket. More money out of the pocket because we had to go with our own. But at that time, still, we made the decision, hey, it was more important to purchase this home than to fund a wedding, because guess what? A wedding is for the guests, it's for the other people. The wedding is not for the bride and the groom. Let me say it again for the people in the back. The wedding is not for the bride and groom. The wedding is for the guests. It's the guests. You're paying out money to feed. They said when it comes to these weddings, the bulk of the money is going towards the venue because you need a big building. You and your boo don't need a big building for just you and them, right? So what? You need the big building for the guests. Then the second expense is going to be the food. You and your boo don't need all thousands of dollars worth of food. But guess who? Who does need the thousands of dollars worth of food? Your guests. photography, pictures, video, all of that. Those moments that are captured. So remember, this shit is not for you. It is for your guests. So when you're thinking about having these big events, just think about that. Do you love or even like your guests like that? Because half of y'all, these people you invite, you don't even like them like that. But you doing it by default because your man or your woman, that's her side of the family, her folks. And Lord forbid you not invite their damn asses even though you don't want to. But you got to invite them anyway, and you got to pay for it. Like, really think about it. Paying thousands of dollars on somebody that you can't goddamn stand. You can't stand they stinking asses. But you done went into debt behind them. That's like legit what's happening. And some of these weddings be having fights. They get to cussing each other out, whatever. And you done paid thousands of dollars for that shit. Only for that shit, the average person gonna stay married for probably about 4 years, 4 to 6 years. And that shit's done, a done data. And you still trying to pay off credit cards from that experience. And you ain't even with they dusty ass no more. You finally told them to kick rock with socks off. Go on over there with your dusty. Go on over there with your mama, your daddy, your sister, your trifling sister. You just sent them along their way to go on about their business. And you still left holding the debt. That's so many people's situation. People don't stay married that long. People don't stay married that long. With my numbers, that's like a rarity, especially given my age. I'm 44 years old. Who the hell else you know that's 44 years old talking about they've been married over 20 years? That is not a thing like that, especially for people that look like me. That is not a thing. Y'all know goddamn well that ain't no thing. People don't even be liking each other that long, let alone like getting married. That shit don't happen. So I understand it doesn't happen. But a lot of why I am an anomaly is too, it goes back to my mindset 20 plus years ago when I was a young girl. I got married at 23, of just being damn smart, thinking like, damn, what's important? Like, what's important? First of all, the most important thing is going to be the quality of the person, not the wedding, because the wedding is just a day. So many people get caught up on that one day and give damn near zero thoughts about the future. That one day and that experience is not going to get you through your marriage. That is a goddamn day. That is an event. That's like goddamn going to the local carnival that come in town for the weekend. Like, but people treat that that one day like that is what like their married life is going to be built around. Motherfucker, that is like a goddamn birthday party. Like, really, y'all, people just don't understand. And I can always tell when I meet people early on and their energies with one another, I'm like, that shit ain't gonna last. They don't even goddamn like each other. They can't stand each other. That shit finna be over by St. Patrick's Day. Like, I can call it, y'all, because I've been married for so long. So I can see, I know the efforts, the things that go into marriage. So early on, when I see that somebody ain't gelling and they can't even get along or agree on basic shit, like if the child gonna get a damn immunization shot or not, oh shit, this shit ain't gonna goddamn marry. Y'all can't even damn decide on damn the child medical and who the damn pediatrician gonna goddamn be. So how the fuck y'all finna raise this person till they 18? Y'all, this is how my brain works. And when I call it, I call it. Family or not, I call that shit with my sister. I'm like, this shit ain't gonna damn last. But the reason why I can call it is because I know all the ins and outs that goes into this shit. I know the work that goes into it. So that's how I can tell early on if whether or not something's going to be able to stand, because you got to have a solid foundation. And that starts with being a realist and not being in denial of a true situation and acknowledging if something's fucked up. If something's fucked up, you got to acknowledge it. You got to acknowledge it, because if you don't, just because you saying it's not fucked up don't mean it's not. Just because you choose to not acknowledge it. What they say, just because you don't say a thing is a thing don't mean it ain't a thing. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. So a lot of people just be operating in delusion. And that's just when it comes to just life, period. And we're in times right now to where we cannot afford to be delusional about anything. When it comes to purchasing homes, weddings, jobs, the climate of the state of just the economy, we got to recognize what we're dealing with and move accordingly. But that's why it starts with awareness. Awareness. And we've got a lot of people who it's uncomfortable to live in their truth, to acknowledge that thing is a thing because it makes them nervous. So it's just like they'll act like it doesn't exist. And that's how you get caught up and you end up in a situation. Don't be, just kind of, just chill. Don't be running out just right now buying a house. Just chill. Don't be running out trying to change your job. Just chill. Just relax. Let's just see what's going on. Let's just watch. Let's just observe. Because that's the time that we're in. We got to. Otherwise, you're going to be effed up out here. You're going to be effed up out here trying to make all these moves. And then when shit get funky, you're going to be like, oh my God, I guess I shouldn't have done that. You think? What made you do that to begin with? Didn't you see people losing their jobs left and right in this sector, and you gonna go jump into that? Like what? But people be doing stuff like this, y'all. People be doing stuff like this. They be making these decisions. You know that these people, these jobs on the line, and you go out and buy a $60,000 car, and you like, well, damn, they just told me my last day, May 15th. But you were seeing things taking place prior to you going and making that move, but you still did it. There are a lot of people on the internet talking about doing just that. Going out, making these purchases and doing these things when they'll acknowledge that they were aware of these different things taking place with the economy, but they still went out and made these big purchases. People do this stuff. People do it all day long. And to me, I feel like it happens when people choose to just live in the fantasy and make-believe land because they don't want to face reality. Or sometimes you got some people to where how they cope when they're going through issues, they just go out and just buy shit. They just do stuff because that's just how they cope. And then it's kind of like an after effect, an afterthought of, like on Steve Urkel, did I do that? Yes, bitch, you did. And I need to understand why. Why'd you do that? Why? Now, what made you do that again? Like, we see it all the time where people do stuff and we like, well, what made you choose to do that based on, like, I'm confused. Help me understand. Help me understand. But it's just a lot of people that just move with emotion, or they think that something's not going to happen to them. They get very comfortable in their situation. And it's just like, well, you know, I've been on my job for 20 years, so I'm good. I'm Gucci. It ain't finna happen to me. But remember, we seen people who've been on their job for many years, but they got promoted. Because remember, you do your job, you do it well, you get promoted. You get a new position. Who would ever thought that one day, following someone accepting a new position, that would end up being how you lose your damn job? Like, really think about this shit, y'all. Imagine you doing your job. You the best of the best. They said, bitch, you doing so good. We want you to run this bitch. We want you to be in charge. Bet. Where I sign. How much you saying you pay me? All right, then I run this shit. I run this plant. I run this office. And then somebody come in and say, hey, we're letting it go probationary workers. Your mind, you automatically thinking like, well, shit, I've been here 20 years. Never would you think that because you're in a new position that now you're considered a probationary worker because you're in a new position. Who thinks that way? I don't know if that's some just government type stuff, because I ain't never heard of being in probation again in a new position in the private sector. So who's thinking that way? So here it is. You got people who then got comfortable because they've been on these jobs for many, many years, and they getting promoted. And normally they don't have to worry about now. All they got to worry about is making sure that extra coin is on their check as promised. And now these same people that lost their jobs, here's the kicker, because they was good at what they did. Let me say it again. People lost their jobs because they was good at what they did. Because the only how you getting promoted, right, you getting that next position, is because somebody said you was good. They said, you know what, I see you, I recognize you, I want you to do this. Bet. Now, 30 days later, 60 days later, Less than 2 years later, you're told you no longer have a job. And the reason being, well, you're a probationary employee. Oh, wrapped up in that bullshit excuse of, oh, your job performance wasn't up to par. Who's running around getting promoted like that if they a subpar employee? That's not really the norm. You'll see people sometimes, you see them get promoted. You be like, how, Sway? But then more, I would like to believe more often than not, when you see people get promoted, you're like, they deserved it. They was working. It was time for them to elevate to the next level. But nobody ain't thinking they gonna lose their job because of an elevation and getting promotion. That's not a normal thought process. But that's what happened with these people. That's what happened. So you know they got to do something to the psyche, because you start thinking like, damn, if I would have stayed in that other lower paying position, then I still have a job, because on paper I still show that I've been in my company for 20 years and I'm not on probation. So damn, I shouldn't have accepted the promotion. Like, who's running around thinking that way? But this is now how people are thinking, because that's how some people have lost their jobs. Simply because they got back into a probationary period when they got promoted and got that new position. It's effed up on so many levels. I know you got a lot of people out here who mind mentally effed up as they just think about everything, because it doesn't make sense, because it shouldn't be this way. And I know the world is not fair. But this right here, this is on some beyond me saying, oh, I understand the world's not fair. This is on some effed up type stuff. This is on some different type of stuff. This is on some we clearly at the end of our times type stuff. You know, we be looking for signs like, Lord, are we in the last days? We got to be in the last days. This is on that type of time, because ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. I'm just saying, it's hard out here. It's hard. It's just a blessing to just be able to have a job these days. Like, some people may work a job that they just hate and just want to leave so badly, but we're in these times to where it's just a blessing to be able to have a job with the way people are losing their jobs. It's a blessing just to have a job, to think about, man, what if I lose my job? Because there are a lot of people who don't have that. So it's not even a thought of what if I lose my job. The thought is, oh my God, while you complaining about your job, I just wish I had one. I just wish I had one. There are a lot of people in that situation. So for those of you who are employed, I would challenge you to just think about your situation and think about those who don't even have a job to be pissed off about. Just think about having one and having a paycheck. Change how you view things, how you look at things. Hone in on gratitude, being grateful. That is what I'm doing more of these days, is being grateful of my situation. And there's things with what I got going, or say where I work, when I'm like, oh, I want to leave, I want to do this or that. But what this whole situation has had me to do is had for me to have a new appreciation for the things that I have, for the family I have, for the husband I have, the support my children I have, my job I have, this channel I have, you all. It's not a lot. I'm a small content creator, but it's something. It's more than, say, what somebody else has, because somebody else going to always have more and somebody always going to have less. So you just have to be grateful with what you got. And that's what I try to kind of do more of, is just, being grateful. Look, I got 19 thumbs up, and I had 19 watching. If you can, please hit the thumbs up button for me. Just gratitude. Hey, Sue says, I'm so grateful for everything I have. I know that's right, Sue. Yvonne said that part. Like, just be grateful. Just show gratitude. Because here's the thing about when you sit in gratitude and you're grateful, it's an energy associated with that. And guess what? More of those things that you're grateful for, it starts to show up. So let's just take a job, for example. Putting in your mind and your heart that you're grateful for that job. As a result of staying in gratitude, you're going to start to feel better about that job. When you go to that job, you're not going to have this feeling of, I hate this job. I hate this place. I don't want to be here, because now you're sitting in gratitude. And guess what? Those things you complained about that job, it ain't going to even feel that deep no more. You're not gonna even really be sweating those little things that you did before, because now you're so grateful to where you're grateful to have a job, to where you're just happy that you got some place to go to, that someone's cutting you a check consistently. It's those things. It makes a difference on the mindset that you have as you approach anything that you do. It starts in the mind, because when you start to think more positively, you start to get more positive effects that show up, because thoughts become things. So when you start thinking more positive about your situation and the people that you going around every day in the office, and if they getting on your nerves, and you start being like, "Oh, I'm just glad I got somewhere. Keisha get on my damn nerves, but you know what? I'm glad I got a place to go to have a Keisha to get on my damn nerves." And guess what? Keisha ain't gonna really be getting on your nerves like that no more. You're gonna look forward to seeing Keisha ass every day. Because why? Because you got some place to go to see Keisha. Your energy gonna be feeling different about her, because it's just like, damn, oh my God, I'm so grateful that I can come and see your goddamn ass. Ooh, you be pissing me off, but I'm happy that I got you to be able to look forward to see piss me off, because if I didn't have this job, I would never see you or deal with you again. I wouldn't have anything. So I look forward to seeing your face, because that lets me know I still got my shit. So again, it's back to the mindset. The mindset, the stuff that once bothered you on the level that it did, when you change your mindset, it don't even faze you like that no more. Because you like, it's so much stuff to be worried about. How many of y'all like, it's so much going on to be worried about, to where some of the stuff that you used to be worried about, you don't even have the capacity to be worried about anymore. You're like, I can't even worry about that no more. I'm just trying to put food on the table. I can't worry about that man or that woman. I got to feed my kids. I got to make sure I got a job to go to. Where those things that you once sweat, you can't even think about it no more, because you so stretched thin. Your plate is so full. I like to use the analogy of, the Dollar General. They have like the holidays. I buy the sectional plates, and you got a square for the different. So the sectional plates will have maybe like 1, 2, maybe like 5 squares. I like to use that analogy because I'll say all my squares, they're all full. There's no more room for me to put anything else on my plate. It's full. There's no more. So right now, so many of us, our plate is so full, it's no more. So what I say is, when your spots, when those 5 squares get full, don't be trying to force nothing else on your plate. You just tell that person, listen, I can't deal with that right now. My plate is full. Don't even try to make room on it. It's a reason why there's sections on the plate, because once they're full, those sections are full, that's done. It's it. So you tell them, people, listen, I can't do you right now. My plate full. I can't worry about that. I got this going on. You got to prioritize, because you will stretch yourself thin. You will worry yourself. Stress kills. As I say, people go around taking care of everything, everybody, but nobody taking care of us. And guess what? We're often neglecting ourselves. Our mental health is so bad. And when our mental health is bad, guess what? Our bodies start to look bad. It shows on the body. Anytime I see a person and their body's all out of whack, I know their mental health isn't where it needs to be. Because there's no way that your mental health is where it needs to be and your body not good. How you feel, how you thinking mentally, it's going to start to show on your body. It'll start to show on your skin. How many of you have ever experienced where you're stressed and your skin breaking out, or you look older than what you are? People think you're older than what you are. Hell, you look at yourself and you think you look older than what you are, because you're so stressed. You're stressed to the max. You stretch thin to where life is wearing on you. And your life, you ever see people who live a hard life and they look hard? Like the skin back, they just look hard. They just look like life is. Tell me, y'all ever see like, and you see it a lot, like people who live that street life, they look very hard. Very hard. They just look like they lived a hard life. It's the stress. It's everything that comes along with their life and is weighing on them. Like, that is real. That's why we got to do self-check-ins. We got to do self-check-ins and make sure that you're good. So if you look in the mirror and you don't feel like you look good, you don't feel good about what you see, check your mind. How is your mental health? Are you in a good place? Only you can answer that question. I can't answer that question for you. Listen, my background is clinical mental health counseling. For those of you who are new to my channel, hello, welcome. I'm Chic. My background is clinical mental health counseling. I have a master's degree in clinical mental health counseling. So all day, every day, I psychoanalyze everybody. Listen, everybody can get it. President Trump, listen, this is what I do. This is what I do. So everything goes to the mind. Everything goes to the mind. If you're not happy with what you look like, you got to deal with this. You got to fix this. Because once you fix this, all this is going to fall into place. It all fall into place. You get this right here, everything else going to fall into place. I promise you it will. Get this together. And some of you may need help with that part. Well, how do you get that together? You got to seek out resources. You got to seek out resources. But it's going to first start with you acknowledging that you need help. You need to deal with this. You got to acknowledge it first. And some of it, we can't do it by ourselves. Some of us aren't the best with self-reflection and doing all that inner work. Like, I can do, I'll be over here doing being my own damn therapist. But here's the thing, is because I'm very aware, because of my teachings and me understanding, it's like almost like I do it to myself, to where I can do check-ins. I just know. I can't explain it, but anybody who's probably in mental health field like can probably understand what I'm talking about, to where I understand when it's time to reel it back in, and when I have to kind of start checking myself, and when I see, okay, you're obsessing over this. This is anxiety. Like, I'm very aware of just different triggers. So just like I can see it in people, I can see it in myself. So that's because of my education, I'm able to kind of make sure my shit is together. So I guess that's the benefit. I'm my own therapist. I know these things, but at the same time, we too need people to be able to talk to sometimes, because what we're taught in school is that a therapist need to have a therapist on deck. Because really, when you think about it, we're taking on so much, to where we need someone to talk. Like, it's a lot that you're taking on. But for me, I don't work in the capacity of a therapist. I choose not to. My education is in it, but I switched gears, and I no longer desire to operate in the capacity of a therapist where you're making appointments and coming and lying on my couch. I'd rather just talk to you all on the internet, or when I come across people just in the world and I help them. I like helping that way. Really, I mean, it's free. I feel like my reward is coming in different types of ways, versus you coming to me and booking an appointment and paying 60, 70, however much money an hour. I don't want to help out in that way. I like to help out in this way. So y'all can get free games. So y'all make sure y'all follow me, because anybody who knows me, I'm always dropping gems. Like, this is what I do. But again, my education is clinical mental health counseling. So everything that I talk about is always kind of circles back around to mental health, because everything starts in the mind. And a lot of times people discount that. You get into some of these combat. Welcome you all. Please hit the like button as you come on in. Trevor, welcome. He said, I carry burdens and they are not my own. I carry everyone else's. I know what that feels like. I had seasons when I did that. I used to do that. But here's the thing. When you are someone who carries everyone else's burdens, you have to acknowledge that that is what you do. And then once you acknowledge that that is what you do, you have to acknowledge that it's not okay. It doesn't work for you. And when you do that, you then have to start vocalizing that to people, to say, you know what? I can no longer do this for you. I can no longer be that person who's carrying all these burdens for you. I can't do it because I am stretched thin. I am tapped out. So no. That is going to be the biggest thing that people who take on other people's stuff, that you will have to learn to do. You will have to learn to say it with your chest. But I promise you, when you get that no down pat, baby, that shit gonna roll off your tongue. Like, it's gonna be so easy. In the beginning now, they're gonna be like, what? Because they're not used to you saying no. They're not used to it, but that's okay. What they say, you got to teach people how to treat you. They'll get used to you saying no. And it's going to hurt and it's going to bother them in the beginning. But guess what? They're going to come to get used to it. And you're going to have to get used to it. No. You let them know, I can't do it anymore. And they're going to be mad. They're going to be in their feelings because they used to you being everything to everybody. But they got to get to know the new you. The new you said, I can't do this shit no more. I can't. I'm goddamn tapped out. Y'all done tapped on my last goddamn nerves. I can't do this shit no more. You got to learn how to do that. I just learned how to do that probably in maybe like the last 5 years. It took a long time. But baby, when I said I could fucking say no with the fucking quickness, they don't even ask me. They don't even ask me no more. Because they like, it's like, oh shit, I asked me. They don't even ask me no more. It's a different type of energy now because I say it with my chest, no, I will not. You say it with your chest, I will not. And they gonna think you crazy in the beginning, but that's all right. That's all right. Because now they're gonna see that they can't use you or take advantage of you anymore like they used to, like they once were for so long. And that's the thing. People get used to what you allow. So when you got to change that. You got to change that. But I can show you better than I can tell you. Like I said, they feelings going to be so goddamn hurt. They ain't going to even want to even ask your ass shit no more. You're going to be like, damn, why don't call me no more? You're going to be at home laughing because you're going to know that they don't even got to reach out to you no more. They thinking about everybody but you. They done found somebody else to work their damn nerves. And when they do circle back around to you, they're going to be on some other type of time. Why? Because you set new boundaries. You set boundaries and you stuck to them. And guess what? When you start doing that and you do it more and more, it's so normal. I feel like probably like I'm 44. They say when you get to 40, you just don't give up. Y'all, when I say baby, that is so real. And I hear when you get to 50, it's on a whole nother level. Y'all, if I'm the way I am at goddamn 44 with not giving a fuck, I don't know what 50 gonna look like. Because when I say your girl don't give a goddamn, I don't give a shit. And it's a beautiful thing. It's so liberating. It's so liberating to not give a shit, not give a fuck. That is the season that I am. And it's a beautiful thing. And that's why my skin can look like this. And I can say I'm 44. My fucking hair is growing. Listen, bitches, listen. You best to goddamn try it. Tell a motherfucker no. Tell a motherfucker no. And see how that'll change your soul. It'll do something to your spirit because they not going to be ready. Now, don't be laughing at their asses when they start clutching their pearls, but they going to clutch their pearls now. They going to be like, what do you mean? They going to goddamn start stuttering and shit. What do you mean? No. I said no. Shit. Hell. I'm tired. Shit. Eggs, $20. Hit them with some shit that's going on. Eggs fucking $20. I can't do you and eggs. Something gotta goddamn give. Something gotta motherfucking give. And I got to get my goddamn eggs for my tuna fish over in because eggs supposed to help me look young. They say it's supposed to be good for the skin, motherfucker. And you are not good for my skin. So I need to get these goddamn eggs because it serves me a purpose. And you ain't doing shit for me but stressing me the hell out and making me look old as fuck. And I'm supposed to be black and they say black don't crack, but my black is goddamn cracking. And that is a whole problem. See, you say that shit with your chest, they gonna think you fucking crazy. They gonna think you crazy, but it's okay. Let them think you crazy because they gonna know that you are not the 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. That's what the fuck you do. So for y'all who everybody trying to stretch you thin, that's how the fuck you handle that. Now, I will throw in a disclaimer. I am a Scorpio, so that is giving Scorpio energy. When you know, so that's the secret. Like, Chic, what's the secret? What's the secret to look like you, to not give a fuck? That is the secret. How do you keep your waist snatched and your hair growing to not give a shit, to cut the motherfucker out if they come at you any kind of way? That's what I do. Listen, Linda, listen. I'm trying to tell y'all, if y'all want to goddamn know the secret. Y'all remember back in the day, Oprah had the secret. This is the motherfucking secret. Cut the motherfucker out and tell them to put some respect on your name and don't start none, won't be none, and act like they got some sense and don't be trying to play on your top and play you crazy. You got to set rules and boundaries. That is the secret. And that's on free. I told you I got them answers. I could listen by education, your girl, whole therapy. Listen, but I give y'all free game on this fucking channel because I prefer to do it this way. Because everybody ain't got no money to be going to pay nobody for no shit like this. Y'all tap in, y'all hit the subscribe button, like the goddamn video. Just try to like the video. That's for free. I ain't charging y'all $60 an hour for this shit. If you like the video list, that's how you pay me back. Y'all probably think I'm crazy, but listen, like, I really do mean all this shit that I'm saying, though. I mean, not some of it. I mean, all of it. I mean, all of it. Trevor said, I'm a Cancer and I'm 34 and I'm still learning to love people, but people are hateful these days. They are. People are people. And here's the thing. Once I heard somebody say, and this really resonated with me. They said that you cannot go around expecting for people to be like you. You can't go around expecting for people to be like you. So what that means is that if you're a giving person and you show up for people, you can't expect people to be that way because they're not. And you have to understand and be in acceptance that everybody is not like you. And if somebody and what they're giving is not enough, then guess what? You got to move around. You got to go do something else. You can't sit in that and try to force somebody to be something for you that they not capable of being. You got to say, you know what? It looks like it's against your damn religion to do right by me. So I'm going to have to fucking move around and go goddamn do something else. How about that? Because what I'm not going to do is acquiesce to this bullshit that you own right here. That's what the fuck I'm not going to do, because doing that shit ain't going to have you looking like this. I'm just saying, you look like this when you set boundaries and when you put yourself first. That's when your shit's together. That makes a difference. But when your shit fucked up right here, all this look fucked up. Y'all, that's real. People will absorb and take your energy vampires. Y'all ever come across an energy vampire with somebody coming to your life and they just suck the energy out of you and they want to just pull and take and they don't want to give? That's real. You recognize when somebody doing that on that type of time, and you get you tell me get the fuck on. What you not gonna do is have me bald head and I'm waking up my goddamn locks laying on the damn pillow. I'm not gonna do that, y'all. My roots are strong. It's strong because I'm not letting the motherfucker stress me out. I'm not doing that. I'm taking care of me. And even though I'm married, I still do those things. I haven't lost myself to where I don't know who I am and I'm living for my kids and I'm living for a man. No, I am still chic. I am still a woman. I'm still taking care of me, because guess who benefit when I take care of me? My husband benefit and my kids benefit. Don't they say when you're on the plane, when shit get funky, you can't fucking breathe and the mask fall out, put your shit on first before you try to help the next person? That's what's called taking care of home. This is home. You got to take care of home first. That's the message for a man or a woman. Take care of home. Make sure make sure you're good, because you can't be good for the next person if you ain't good, right? Like, that's real. Like, you got to make sure you good, y'all. Make sure you good. We can take care of other people, but we got to make sure we good too. Don't neglect ourselves, because guess what? When your ass drop dead and you croak, guess what? Them people still finna be on their bullshit, living their life. And they gonna be the main ones at the funeral service talking about, she always did worry about everything and everybody. Yes, bitch, your ass. Let me come back at the afterlife. Yes, bitch, your ass. You worked my thing. Because y'all know them gonna be the main ones talking about how you was living and how you shouldn't have been stressed when they was the one that had you stressed. They was the one that had you stressed, but they finna be up there trying to do the goddamn eulogy. Talking about all you did was worry about folks and you didn't take care of yourself. See, that's the person you come back and you touch their goddamn toes and they sleep and scare the shit out of them. You do that to that person. Because people will play in your face like that. Like they didn't contribute to the damn nonsense. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Help me help you. Help me help you. Start, y'all hit the like button for you, girl. Listen, DJ, I'm speaking. Hey, Brolena, I made it to the good part. Brolena, you know I tend to pop off. I tend to have my moments. Y'all done caught me in a moment to where when I really go in and I really want to tell y'all some shit, this is that moment. I tend to do that. You know, it did start out with me talking about politics, but still it all kind of comes full circle to where it's awareness. It's awareness. It's awareness. And it starts with just having certain requirements about centered around how you are to be treated, saying it with your chest. And I think that's a lot of too what a lot of people like about even President Trump. He says it with his chest, and people can respect somebody who say it with their chest, who can stand on theirs. Stand on yours. Are you standing on yours? Because when you're not standing on yours, people will take advantage. People will take advantage. People recognize when somebody is not secure in who they are. You ever notice that you see some people get a certain type of treatment where people play with them? You be like, I don't have them damn experiences. Why nobody try me? I wish a motherfucker. How many of y'all is that person that got that energy? I wish a motherfucker would, because people don't come at you like that. They don't come at you like that because they pick up the energy. They know they can't. People will try who they feel like they can try. So you may not be that person that they try. I don't be getting people to try me like that because when you look at me, I'm soft and prim, but I still got to look when I move in this world. There still is something about me that still gives. Don't fuck with me. I still got that type of energy about me. So I don't really deal with problems where people try to come at me sideways. And I'm friendly and I smile, but it's still an energy about me that people, they don't try me like that. But I do see you got a lot of people where people constantly trying them. But it's because people are picking up the energy when somebody's not assertive and they're not strong and they're not confident. Because when you're strong and confident, like it exudes you. It's not the words you say. My experience with how people respond to me, it's not really the words I say. It's more of them paying attention with how I move, my energy, how assertive I am. When I do speak, how I say it. It doesn't take long. I don't walk around. People don't really know what my resume look like, what my education is. But when I speak, it doesn't take long for them to pick up that I'm not a village idiot. So when I speak, it's like, okay, I can't say this to her, so let me come at her from this angle because I see she's someone who's aware. That's the energy you want to give off. You want to be aware. You want to know who you are and stand 10 toes down, so when somebody come at you and they talk to you, they know that you know who you are, and they can't come along and tell you who you are. Because I always say, if you don't know who you are, somebody gonna come along and tell you who you are. So you might as well know who the fuck you are, because who wants somebody coming along and telling you who you are? And that's what the hell people will do. People who get abused and stuff because they didn't know who they were. Somebody came along and told them who they were. And that person started believing it. Until it took years, if they ever break that, that bond, that trauma bond, to stop believing in what that person said. But that's how somebody get you, because the way to get to somebody, you get them today. You get somebody's mind, you can control them from anywhere in the world. Mental. Get into somebody's mind. No matter where you're at, you can still control that person because you're in their head. That's why abuse, the hardest part, the most damaging part is when somebody gets to your head, because bruises heal. But when somebody gets to your mind, that shit take years to undo. How many of y'all still working on trying to undo that shit? And you was a kid maybe when something happened with you, or in your early 20s, but you still mentally, it's like you in that chokehold, like they still got those strains. Think about like people who did time in jail and they institutionalized. I know people like that, to where they've been out for some years, but the way they moving, it's like they still locked up. They still think somebody out to get them. They still think there's some man telling them what fucking time to go to bed, what time the lights gotta go out, what food to eat. They still think somebody's still controlling them like that. So therefore, when a regular person give them a basic command on a job, they ready to pop off and set it off, because they like, motherfucker, I ain't in jail no more. You ain't finna tell me. And it's just like, well, sir, I didn't mean it that way. I was just letting you know, because I'm the manager and I want to let you know what your job task is going to be. But they done took it to a whole nother level, because in their mind, they're having a flashback and they're thinking that you're the warden that's trying to control them. So they can't keep a job because they getting fired, because the people think they goddamn crazy as shit, because they keep popping off at every time somebody says something to them. That's the mind control. That's the mind control. That's the mind control. And we got a lot of people just in the world when it comes to government. When you got stuff dealing with Democrat Party, Republican Party, I don't know why I'm a Democrat here. My great-grandpa, great-great-grandmom was a Democrat, so they said, bitch, just how you vote. So that's what I did. They can't tell you nothing else as to why they vote that way, other than great-great-grandmama, me, mama, told me that's how I'm supposed to vote. Remember I said mind control, mind control. But it wasn't overnight that this came, so it's not going to break overnight. But it starts with awareness, and you being aware of what's taking place, what's really happening. Because when you become aware of what's happening, then you can start going deep and be like, this shit is bigger than what they said. This shit is big. Remember, people got pissed off at Kanye and said that people were enslaved because they wanted to. That statement means that you got people, even though physically they're not in shackles, mentally they are. Mentally, they're being controlled. Because it's almost like you'll see people, they do these science experiments and you'll have the rat or the mouse and you have them in a confined space, and then they don't leave a space because they got constrained to stay in a certain confined space until one day one of them leave that space, and then the other ones be like, oh shit, you can cross the white line. So now never again you can keep them in the circle within the white line, because it took for one day one to cross over the white line. And it's like, oh shit, we can cross over the white line. But look how many years it took for somebody to cross over the white line. Listen, y'all. This is my basic understanding. I'm just telling y'all what my goddamn understanding is on just this life and what I've come to understand in my 44 years. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts. I'm going to try to get into these comments some more. Yvonne says, so how do the people begin to heal from that? I think the people begin to heal from first recognizing what I just said, as far as a lot of times we do things and we don't have an understanding of why we do it. So we're going to start there. So from there is asking questions. In my world, if you are a subscriber, you've been here for a while, I affectionately refer to my subscribers as the honor students. And the reason why I call my subscribers the honor students is because in my world, on my channel, it's about learning, evolving, rising to the occasion, not going down, but rising, elevating, asking questions, because I say all the time, smart people ask questions. I've always been one to ask a lot of questions. Anyone who know me personally know me as someone who asks a lot of questions. So that's always the joke, the comment. She has so many questions. But I know a lot of things too. So a lot of times when people want to know certain things, who are they coming to with with bringing their question to? They're bringing it to me because they know, she probably know, hell, she always asking questions. Because if I don't know the answer, I am going to research, try to find the answer, because I believe in seeking out information, not sitting in the unknown. If you see collectively, say, Democrats have voted this way or black people have voted this way, ask why. When did that start? Well, why do we have to do that? I mean, I know mama did it and daddy did it, but does it make sense? Well, what are they doing over there? That don't sound too bad. Well, why is everybody over here? Well, because my grandmama said this is where I'm supposed to be. But that doesn't make sense, because over here they're saying this. And that seems like it's more beneficial to us. And that could really help us. So why aren't we going over there? Well, mama and daddy said we need to be over here. So they said, don't be asking us no fucking questions. You just do what I told you to do. Y'all know we grew up in households. You do what I told you to do. So it starts from you breaking away from that and saying, you know what? It's a new day. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to go explore. I'm going to see what's over there. I know what's over here, but shit, let me go see what's over there. It's just taking a chance to do something different. Being okay with not doing what everybody else doing. Being okay with being seen as being different. It's okay. It's okay. Because a lot of times in order for us to elevate and get to our best, we got to do some things we never done before. We can't live in fear. I'm the oldest of 4 kids. So what that means is that I didn't have anyone before me to wait and see what they did first before I decided to make a move and to do something. I was the first. I'm the oldest. So because of that, like that's been my life. So as I've been an adult, everything that I've been doing, I didn't have someone to look to do it first to see, okay, let me see how they did it. So therefore I know how to do it. I had to develop the courage, the strength to become fearless, to be okay with being the first and doing something that I didn't see anyone else do or anyone close to me do. Let me just say that. I may have seen other people do it, but nobody that I knew personally. And I was okay with being the first to do it if that meant that I can be an example to others to show that it can be done. Because a lot of times people think something ain't possible, it can be done because they ain't never seen it happen before, or nobody they knew or nobody that looked like them ever did it. Excuse me. So in their mind, it's not even possible. That's not how it works. Just because you ain't seen some ish done, don't ever think that it ain't possible. Like, really think about the logic behind that. Just because you ain't ever seen it done, don't mean that it ain't never been done. What they say, a tree that fall in the forest, just because you didn't hear it, does that mean that it didn't happen? No. You just wasn't aware that it was done. You just never personally seen it. But be okay with exploring and seeking out that, and you may come across somebody who's done it. Or better yet, be okay with just being the first one to do it. To know that it's possible, but even though you never seen nobody do it, you like, shit, why it can't be me? Shit, why I can't do that shit? That's literally the story of my life has been the first to do some shit, whether it was getting married. That wasn't no thing in my family. Having kids in the marriage. That shit wasn't no thing in the family. Getting degrees and a whole goddamn bunch of them. First of all, going to college wasn't no thing like that, let alone having multiple degrees. That wasn't a thing. But it was something that I knew was possible because it was just people in the world I knew was doing it. So my mind has always been, well, shit, what make me different? Why the fuck I can't damn do it? Why I can't do it? That has been my approach on life. Why can't I do it? And that literally is no deeper than that. It's been, well, shit, if they can damn do it, if the job exists, you saying this job function, okay, this accounting is a job. Well, motherfucker, okay, if it's a job, it's a possibility for somebody to do it. Okay, so that means my goddamn ass, I ain't no village idiot. I'm capable of learning. I can learn that shit too. That has been my mind with everything, you all. Like, it's that. It is that. Oh, you can be 44 and not be fat. Bet. Bet. You can have 3 kids and wear a size 4. Bet. Like, literally, it's just like, if it's possible, it's possible. Shit. Okay, well, I'm going to do it. If shit possible, I'm going to fucking do it. That is me. So anyone whose ear I get, that is always my message. Anything is possible. You put your mind to it. Anything's possible, you put your mind to it. What do you believe? It's not what I believe. What do you believe? What do you believe? Because I know what I believe about me. What do you believe about you? Because guess what? Let me tell you a secret. Whether you believe you can or you can't, guess what? You're right. Because if you believe you can't, guess what? You can't. But if you believe you can, guess what? You can. What do you believe? Everything starts in the mind, remember? If you don't take nothing else from this live today, just remember, everything starts in the mind. Everything starts in the mind. Because thoughts become things. And think about all the things that you see in the physical, in the 3D, 4D, whatever you call it. It all started first with an idea in the mind. Thoughts become things. Thoughts become things. So those of you who are in a situation and say you have been impacted by these job losses, where are your thoughts? What are you thinking about? Are you thinking about the way out of your situation, the things that you can do to earn money, to create a living, to support yourself, or to support your family? Because thoughts become things. What are you thinking about? That's real. That is real. Whether you want to believe it or not, that's real. Hey, Laura, you say I'm the youngest and my parents knew every sneaky trick my sisters did. Thoughts become things. Just remember that. Think positive. It's a lot going on right now in this world. I need to, I'm gonna put some links, probably start putting my links to my Amazon. I may try to see if I can create an Amazon store, but I have published some books and things on Amazon for mental health. I have some adult coloring books, some journals and things like that. And they're great for mental clarity, to de-stress with everything that's going on. And it's a start, just something that you can do to just woosah, to check out. So I'll try to remember after this live to post the links to my books in the description. So if you do want to support and get them, and they're all inexpensive, I think $7.99 and below. But they're just things that you can use to help you with things, with putting down these thoughts. Because you may not have someone to talk to. And sometimes it's good to keep some things to yourself, because especially if you're in an environment where everybody is not for you. And everybody is not in an environment surrounded by people who are for you in that way, to want to see you win. You got a lot of haters, whether they're blood or not. This is a lot of haters out there. So sometimes it's best to not let people know what your moves are. So having something to write these things down, that's a way of you being able to kind of get it out, or you feel like you want to kind of share it. You're writing you're writing it down, so it's in this journal, so you're putting it out there. It's like maybe you're thinking like, oh, I'm putting it in the atmosphere, but you're doing it without having another person involved. So I think that's a great way to still get it out, but to still keep it close to you. To keep it close to you. I live by the mantra, don't talk about it. I don't talk about it. Don't talk about it, be about it. So with me, with most of the things that I've done, people didn't know I was doing it until I finished. Or say if I went back to school, when they learned I was in school. It wasn't like they heard me talk about it beforehand. Even with my books, I talked about it after. Only one who knew about it before when I was creating them was my husband. No one else knew until after the fact, when I said, oh, by the way, you haven't heard from me in the last little while because I was working on this. This is how I move. Because a lot of times what I've noticed is that people who move in silence, they tend to get more done than those who are always announcing things. Because a lot of times you got a lot of people who just talk a lot. They just talk. And you don't really see much action of them getting anything, but they always talking about what they doing, this, and that. To me, I've noticed those people don't really do a whole lot. But the ones who are just kind of silent with theirs, the way they move, they doing all kinds of big things. And you be like, I didn't know you had all that going on. I didn't know you was doing that. I get that response from people all the time. Because people who know me personally know, this is me. You learn about what I did after the fact. Some of y'all probably don't even know I got 2 channels. Y'all, this is my second channel. I have a larger YouTube channel that's monetized. I can't remember last time I recorded on there. I be on this channel, my smaller channel, hanging out with y'all. Because I'm enjoying just the building of this channel. But yeah, I got another channel. It's called Chic Speaks. You can follow me over there. I just have to figure out what I want to do over there. But this is my second channel I created that I've been working to build. Road to 1,000. My goal is to try to, hit that number before the month is out. So I do thank you all for subscribing, especially those of you who are new subscribers, those of you who've come out the bushes, those of you who graciously hit the like button. It's the little things. I'm not one as big on asking for money and things like that, but I will ask for a like if you can just hit the like button for me. Dr. J said, I knew about your second channel. Yeah, some people know about it. I mention it sometimes. I haven't been over there in a while, but yeah, I got 2 channels. But you all just may know me from being over here on this channel, but I do have a second channel. So follow me over there. You can follow me on TikTok. I have Chic Speaks on it as well as Chic Speaks. So follow me on all platforms. I'm on Instagram too. Don't really do a whole lot on Instagram. But yeah, I'm just trying to spread the word. Brolena says, you are really amazing on how you manage interpersonal relationships and how to protect your peace. Y'all, I didn't learn this overnight. It's been a process. And life is, as I say, life is the biggest teacher, because I was that kid that took on all the worries. Like, y'all, I was like that. Remember I told you how now I don't give a shit, like I don't give a damn energy. As a kid, as a youth, I cared about everything. I was so sensitive. I would worry about everything. I would scratch my hair. I would scratch like bald spots in my head. I had like this nervous problem. I would just worry about a lot of stuff. And I think it was rooted in just abuse, things that I've witnessed, traumas and things like that. And you know how, like I say, Black households, you're raised with, don't take business out the house. You see things transpire and take place, and you're keeping it all within, and you're trying to understand, and you're absorbing all of that. So as a kid, like remember I say it wears on your body. So in my hair, I would scratch my hair. It was a habit. I was always scratching my hair, but it was a nervous problem. So that was the issue I had probably elementary school, going into middle school. I feel like once I got in high school, it probably went away, because by that time my mom was divorced. So she was a single parent again with 4 kids. I was getting older, working. So I felt like I started to mentally handle things better. And then when I became an adult, I still remember I'm the oldest of 4, still taking on everything, whatever issues, struggles that anybody had going on. And when I got in my 30s, and probably like, I would say like the last, my late 30s, that was when I started to realize that this ain't working. I got to change some stuff. And it's okay if people going to be upset with me by me changing me with how I show up for people. I had to be okay with that. And yeah, so it's been probably about going on 5 years since I've kind of had this new way with my new energy. Like I said, probably since I turned 40, because I'm 40. I'll be 45 in October. So I'm just like me, living in my truth, and it's a beautiful thing. And sometimes I look at other people, in particular women, and when I see them moving in a way where it's obvious that they're not comfortable in who they are and living in their truth, I feel bad for them. Because it's such a beautiful thing to live in your truth and to be you. Unapologetically you. Like, you got to try it. You got to try it. And in the beginning, it may feel uncomfortable, but you got to keep at it. Because it'll start to become comfortable, because it's going to be the new you. And people going to start to know you as just being that person. So people who know me, like, that's my sister. She don't give a damn. She going to say whatever. Like, that's me. That's me. I've evolved. I've evolved. And going off of what I say, what I used to be, one would have never thought in a million years that I would be that person on the internet like this. Because remember, I was that person that was in the bushes, that was hiding, that was afraid of what somebody was going to say or think. Look at me now. I'm not that person anymore, but I had to evolve into that person because I didn't like being that person. I didn't like that. But I love who I am now. And there is no turning back. So I'm going to always encourage someone to live your truth. Be you. Be you. Say it with your chest. Teach people how to treat you. And just because somebody hold a title in your life, meaning they a spouse, they your child, they your parent, they your aunt, it doesn't mean that they can just have free reign over you and run your life and talk to you crazy and disrespect you. I'm your mama, I'm your daddy. Okay, I get that, but mama and daddy, I'm gonna need for you to respect me. Period. You still can require respect. You require that. And if they cannot do that, you say, well, I can't have nothing for you. Because guess what? If they really care about you, they gonna change. I've tried and tested. They gonna get in their feelings in the beginning when you shut them off. But guess what? They gonna circle around. They gonna get their act in order. They gonna line up because they're gonna see that, wow, in order to have access to you, they gonna have to act like they got some damn sense. Otherwise, they're not gonna have access to you. Everybody don't automatically warrant access to you. People do not automatically warrant access to you. They gotta be accepted. You gotta approve it. You gotta approve it. You gotta earn it. Remember they say earned respect. That's just earned. It's just not just given. Listen, treat me like I'm somebody because I'm gonna treat you like somebody. I just asked you do the same damn thing. It ain't that damn deep. Y'all gonna hear me say that a lot on this channel. This shit ain't that damn deep. It's real basic. It's real. It's real basic. It's real basic. People make it deeper than what it is. It's not that deep. It's just basics. Respect one another. Have boundaries. If somebody say no, they don't want to do that shit, damn it, they don't want to do it. Don't be trying to force them to do some shit they don't want to do. Because Lord knows if somebody try to force you to do some shit you don't want to do, you're going to cuss their ass out, be all pissed off and everything, but throw you over here doing that shit. Don't be doing stuff that you don't want somebody to do onto you. People do that shit all the time. They come at you with this type of energy, knowing damn well that if somebody came at them with that kind of energy, all hell will break loose. But it's okay for them to do it to you. The devil is a lie. The devil is a lie. I can show you better than I can tell you. How about I don't talk to your goddamn ass? You're going to be talking to your damn self. Send me a text if you want to. That shit going to go unread. You go into goddamn voicemail. And you might mess around and get cussed out if I happen to pick up the phone and you on some bullshit on the other line. That's the type of energy I'm on. That's the type of energy I'm on. And people respect that. And when you on that type of energy, guess what? When you move in life, people pick that up and they ain't gonna try you. They're not gonna try you like that. I don't go through the world with people trying me. I promise you I don't. But it's the energy that I have. Some may say it's that Scorpio energy. I sting your ass. I will sting. I go from 0 to 10. I say I'm still working on trying to identify what the hell the 5 look like. I don't know what a fucking 5 look like. I know what 0 look like and I know what 10 look like. I don't know what 5 look like. I am a Scorpio through and through. Through and through. So it may come easier for me to have this energy than some of you. But I say, give it a try. Give it a try. Ivan Rodriguez says, you prove my point. The truth is objective. The way it makes you feel is subjective. I can agree with that. Hey, Ivan. Ivan the one be giving me the business. He be giving me the business in the comments. Ivan, keep me on my toes. Welcome, Ivan. Hope you're having a good evening. I agree with that statement. It makes so much sense. Because what's my truth, Ivan, is not your truth. It is subjective. Because how I feel is going to be different than how the next person's going to feel. And that's why I always say we can't discount one another's feelings. So I even say you feeling a certain type of way about something. I can't discount that because that is your experience. That's how you feel. Like I recently had a conversation with a friend this week, and she was saying, hey, I'm feeling this way about this person. Am I overreacting? I said, listen, I need for you to stop asking me that question. And you probably go around asking everybody else that question. Don't ask me to validate your feelings anymore because I cannot. I don't know how you feel. I trust that you feel what you feel. So I'm saying trust in what you feel. I'm not going to ever tell you, no, you shouldn't feel. No. I'm going to say trust how you feel. If you're feeling something and it's innate in you and it's not making you feel good, trust that. You trust that, you go with that, and you move accordingly. That is always going to be my response, because guess what? We're different. And I'm not going to look for any of you all to feel the way I feel. I can come out here and express how I feel, and y'all be here and y'all let me know how you feel. But I'm not going to ever discount how you feel. That's just not what I do. And I don't think that people should do that, because that invalidates people and their feelings. And it makes people feel like they're not important, or how they feel, it doesn't matter. That's wrong. That is wrong. People are entitled to feel how they feel. If you come to me and talk to me, remember, that's the therapist in me. I'm going to talk to you. Well, talk to me. Why are you feeling this way? When they let me know why they're feeling the way, my response may be, okay, I can understand why you feel that way. I don't feel that way because I haven't had that particular experience with that person. So I don't feel that way. But given that your experience went that way, I can understand why you feel that way. You see what I just did? I just recognized that person had a different experience with someone than what I did, because we don't always experience people the same. Somebody can experience me and have a different opinion with how their interaction with me went, because I may have had a different energy towards somebody because I felt like they was on some bullshit, so they got that work, they got that Scorpio. But then I dealt with somebody who didn't come at me like that, and they came at me like with some respect, like they got some sense, and they got the warm and fuzzy chic that will do anything for you. So them two people talking to one another, it's going to be different with what they're saying, with how it went when they interacted with me, right? So that's the thing, y'all. You're not going to always experience a person the same way that another person will experience them. So just remember that. Just remember that. Ask if it says, how can I talk to you personally? Right now on this channel, no one really has access to me personally. On my big channel, Chic Speaks, I have memberships and things like that, and that gives you kind of access to me personally. But once I get this channel probably to the 1,000 subscribers and get it monetized, I'll probably set up memberships and offer ways of which you will be able to have access to me. So that's on that. So again, road to 1,000. Once I get monetized, I'll have a membership, and I'll just have to set up what that'll look like on this channel. But right now, I do have memberships on my bigger channel, Chic Speaks. There's 3 tiers. Let me see. Bromlena said, from the book I'm reading, 3 Versions of Truth, yours, mine, and realities, helps us navigate life's complexities. All right. Ivan says, the passion of your feelings could be different from what the objective truth is. Refer to the story of Apostle Paul in New Testament. Okay. Ivan said he was authentically passionate, but God showed him the truth to use his tool of passionate properly. Very interesting. Yeah, I'm a passionate person. I always said I don't have any tattoos, but I always said if I had one tattoo and it spelled out something, it'd be passionate, because anything I do it with passion. I speak with passion. Everything's passion. I feel. Hence why, at one point I wanted to, be a therapist, because I'm caught up in the emotions. Like, okay, why do people feel the way they do? Like, that interests me. That's fascinating to me. What's going on in someone's brain, how someone's feeling. Like, those are the things. Like, I love studying people and just, getting into the weeds of all those things. And, I tend to build good relationships with people because I come from a place of understanding. So people like to feel like someone's interested in understanding them and wanting to know them and all of that. So I'm going to give you that. I'm going to make everybody feel special, warm, and fuzzy. That's just my personality. And it has for me to be good with building relationships and reading people. I always say my favorite subject is people. I love to study people. I just do it. My mom said, she was telling someone she can't help herself. She just analyzes everyone. She can't help herself. I really can't. Anytime I'm coming in encounter with someone and I'm having conversations with them, I'm psychoanalyzing them. This is just what I do. I'm constantly trying to understand, because when I do these things, you all, it helps me to understand the person better. So therefore, it's just like, okay, this person, they do a lot of, they seem to like to be validated a lot. So I naturally start to think back to, or want to understand, or what maybe their childhood was like, because I'm seeing them constantly wanting validation. Like I said, the friend who said, hey, this is happening. Am I reading too much into it? That person's always asking me that question. But a while back, one time I asked her, and I took notice, hey, what was your life like growing up with your mom? Oh, she was this, she was that. She said mean things to me. I was like, okay, I see. I pick up, you're always seeking validation. Some of you who are listening, are you someone who's always seeking validation? Because what happens is that if you were once in an environment, whether you're in a relationship or you were growing up in a household where what you did, you felt like it wasn't enough or you were not seen, guess what? As you're navigating the world, you're constantly doing things in hopes that you're seen. You're verbally asking for the validation, or you're doing things for attention, because you're wanting people to see you, so you become very, very extra. You guys ever see people who are just so extra? A lot of times it has to do with the validation piece, because they were once in an environment where they felt like they weren't being seen. So it's like an overcompensation thing, where they overcompensate with making sure that they look just very extravagant, or they're very loud, or they're constantly asking you questions centered around the validation of them. It's because they're trying to be seen, because they were at a time in their life in a position where they didn't feel seen. So they're still trying to be seen and trying to get that validation. And most people, you all, that go through some type of trauma, they don't get help for it. Like, most people ain't running around going to counseling, getting help for their stuff. You just living. They get married, having kids. Now you got another generation of kids who got the same issues you had, because you never dealt with your stuff. Like, that's the thing. People ain't running around getting help for their stuff that they got, because a lot of people don't have the money, the resources to do that. So they just trying to figure ish out on their own. They trying to do, everybody out here, I say, on a wing and a prayer, child. Everybody out here on a wing and a prayer, myself included. So, like I say, when I come encounter with people and they're wanting to have conversations with me about just life and understanding, I give them a lot of free stuff, to where if I had a practice set up as a therapist where people would pay for, but these are just things that I just do because it's just my gift. And I just prefer to do it in this capacity, to where it's, hey, Bailey. I prefer to do it in a capacity to where I'm not charging people to come and say, to tell me all this stuff. I'll just, Bailey. Okay, Bailey. Bailey bored. Guess what, Bailey? This is my dog, Bailey. Prior to Bailey, I was fearful of dogs. Bailey and I have the same birthday. I promise you, she like the side chick. So with my husband, she fights to get his attention. She don't know her lane as a side chick. I be saying these side chicks they move differently these days. Back in the day, side chicks used to know their place. These days, these side chicks trying to be taken out on Valentine's Day. You know your day is the 15th. Why is you playing? You know Valentine's Day ain't never been your day, side chick. The 15th is your day. That is on the goddamn calendar. Why you trying to goddamn be taken out on the 14th? I don't damn know. The 15th is your goddamn day. So Bailey is a side chick. We got the same birthday. And she the first dog that I wasn't ever afraid of, because she was very small when I got her. Now she big as shit. So I don't ever see a dog bigger than her. So that means I am never afraid of another dog. Why? Because my dog is bigger than your dog. That is a great way to overcome your fear of a dog. Get a dog that grows up to be big as hell. And I didn't have to go to counseling for that. You see, everybody ain't got money or resources to be goddamn going to counseling for everything. Sometimes you got to figure it out on your own. So that's how I overcame my fear of dogs. Sperlina said I overcame my fear of a cat the same way. Listen, you gotta do what you gotta do. Everybody can't be going and pay somebody some damn money to damn hypnotize them to have them overcome some shit. Sometimes you just gotta go within. You gotta go within on a budget. Go within on a budget. Hell, for free, you can follow my channel. I'll help you with some shit because you never know what you're going to hear over here or what I'm going to get into. But either way, I promise you, I promise you, when you leave, you're going to know something more than, you're going to know more than what you knew prior to coming to my channel. You will always leave learning something because that's what it's my gift to educate, to inform, to bring awareness, and I do it. So I like to make people smile and laugh. So y'all, no telling what y'all gonna hear me say, how I'm gonna damn say it. But listen, this is just me. I be saying some real stuff, but I say it in a way to where I want y'all to understand the message, because sometimes y'all ever talk to some people, they so deep, they up here, and you don't, y'all, Dr. Umar, he's saying shit goddamn 3 times, and you like, what he talking about? Like, I don't want to be on that type of time with people, so I say things and I kick it in a way to where you understand, to where like a 5th grader can understand what I'm saying, so the people in the back can hear it. That's how I communicate, and I do it with humor and laughter, because there's so much in this world that people are just crying about or want to cry about or want to break down. But I feel like when you encounter me, I want it to be an experience. I want you to experience me. I want you to know that you're guaranteed to leave with a smile on your face, laughter in your heart, because I said something that made you feel a little better. And you all, that is my intent. I do that on purpose because I want people to feel good when they think about me or when they experience me. And sometimes I'll think about, when I'm no longer here, what will people say about me and the impact that I had on their lives? I want them to say I made them feel good. I made them feel laugh. I made them feel confident. I encouraged them to live in their truth. I encouraged the ladies to wear their natural hair, to be okay with being barefaced. Like, I want them to say, I want them just to think about me just encouraging for people to be the greatest version of themselves possible, because I see it in you. You got it in you. I want you to feel uplifted, because so many of us, we ain't got people in our life to uplift us. How many of y'all ain't got nobody in your life that's saying encouraging words to you? You just in this on your own. Ain't nobody said nothing nice to you, and Lord knows how long. Nobody ain't complimented you. Nobody ain't even damn said thank you. Like, I'm not that person. I want to see you. I want to acknowledge you. I see you. I hear you. I acknowledge you. And I'll never try to make you feel like I'm better than, I'm more than, because I'm not. I believe in meeting people where they are. That's why when I meet people, I don't even lead with what I got. It take a while for people to even know what I got going on. Because you just meeting me. Hey, I'm chic. And I'm just going to kick it with you. And then over time, I might somehow, some type of way it came up where I mentioned what my background and my education is. They were like, really? Like, my boss, my team, I've been working with a couple of years ago, they just learned I got a master's in clinical mental health counseling. I was like, oh, yeah, y'all probably don't know this about me. They were like, no, I didn't know that. I was like, yeah, I didn't put that on my resume because I didn't feel like it applied, because I got a master's degree in business, so I put that on there. But y'all, these people just now came to damn learn. But guess what? When I told them this, it made sense, because they know I'm known as a person that can connect to people, that can build. So usually when I do tell people that other stuff, it'd be like, okay, it makes sense. I get it. It makes sense. But I don't lead with that. What for? I don't need to lead with that. You just need to know, hey, I'm chic. What's up? What's going on? What we doing today? What we talking about? That's the energy you're going to always get from me. So happen I'm an educated bee, but I'm just meeting you where you at. What's good? What we doing? What we talking about? Where we going? What we going to eat? Like, that's always going to be the energy you get. I just happen to also got this other stuff that come with me, these other skills, this education, but that's not who I am, The essence of who I am is what you feel. Dr. J said you keep it real, chic. That's the only way I know. I had one lady I used to work with. She told me she had always thought that I was just stuck up just because she had never had a conversation with me, but she just did it just based off of how I looked. And then, so when she got to know me, she seen I was a goddamn most down-to-earth person probably walking around that be. But she just judged me with how I looked. And sometimes, people will do that. But I'm so down. Like, listen, I look like butt shit. I'm cool as hell if y'all ain't figured it out yet. I'm real cool. I'm real cool, and I'm always like this. I don't have no enemies. I don't meet a stranger. As my family say, I talk to a damn tree. I love to talk. I'm on here talking to y'all asses probably for damn 2 hours or something more now. That's just me. I love people. I love people, and I love that about me because I have great relationships, and that's the key to success in the world. You got to be able to build relationships. You can't do anything by yourself. Even if you're an entrepreneur, guess what? You need customers, right? You're going to eventually probably have some employees, but even if you don't have employees and you're a one-man show, you still going to need customers. So you better say hi to some damn body. You better smile to somebody. So like, so I like people. That's my favorite thing about me. It has nothing to do with my physical. I love my personality. I love that I'm not afraid to talk to people because I know a lot of people, including my kids, are afraid to talk to people. And a lot of kids, they want to stay in their bubble. Lord forbids. Hey, Teresa. Lord forbid you sitting up to the counter to ask for some damn ketchup packs. They looking at you all retarded like, what you mean go talk to that stranger to ask for some ketchup? I'm all right. I don't need no more. Like they would literally go without before going to go have to use their words to ask for some stuff. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But at the same time, my kids don't understand me of how I can just talk to people the way I do. So it is me. It's just the essence of who I am. And we all have our thing and our way about us that makes us special and unique. And that's just my thing. What is your thing? That is my thing. So you just come to appreciate and accept people for who they are and what their thing is, what their gift is, because it's a blessing to know what your gift is, because not everybody on this earth has come to learn what their gift is. And for those of you who do not know what your gift is, you can learn what your gift is. You have to go within. You can ask your higher power, please reveal my gift to me, and be ready to receive it. And also, how you know your gift, what your gift is what is something that everyone knows you for. Like when people think like, oh my God, the best cakes, they calling you, hey girl, can you make this cake? Hey, God, if you're a man, whatever it is, that thing that people always call upon you for. That's your gift, because everybody know you this. That's it. That's it. Everybody know it, because a gift is something that people see easy. It's not something you got to convince. You don't convince people of what like people see it. Oh my God, your voice is beautiful. You ain't going around convincing people you can sing. They're just telling you, wow, your voice is amazing. You dance very well. You're not convincing people. They take notice of it. It's your gift. It's obvious. It's apparent. Derek Jones says, I love talking to people, but the more I do, the dumber people seem to get to be. And that is a thing. I don't always have conversations with people and I'm thinking like, wow, they're the smartest person in the world. But when I have conversations with people, it's coming from a place of just learning what I'm working with. Maybe in that moment I needed to know where this person's mind was at. So therefore, going forward, I already know, okay, this person, they ain't the brightest, so I ain't gonna have high expectations of that thing over there. But it's awareness. I'm aware that this person's is on a whole nother level. So you come to know that by, when you're interacting with them or even paying attention to them. But it's just awareness. So sometimes, it's okay if somebody ain't as smart as you. I don't talk to people and look for anybody to know what I know, be smarter, be dumber. I don't really have that expectation. I just like talking to people. And based off of how that conversation goes, it determines if whether or not we'll have more conversations, I just like to talk and engage with people. It's just my thing. It's just what I like to do. It's really not that deep. I just like talking to people. Berlana says, Derek, keep talking till you find the one thing they are really smart at. I think everybody has their thing. And I think, yeah, the more that you talk to somebody, you identify, like, you may pick out something that they maybe didn't recognize that's like that they really, is a real strong thing. And maybe you can present that like, wow, anybody ever tell you you do this very well? They'll be like, well, no one's ever said that. Maybe you can be that person that out of that, that conversation, you find a gem, this hidden gem in them. And you can let them know, like, yeah, you're really good at that. And it'll be like, no one's ever said that, because nobody ever took notice of anything positive in that person. So maybe you be that first person to say something like positive to them. So I don't know. It's just kind of, everybody is an experience, Brolena said everybody has at least one thing that they're really smart at. I believe everybody has their thing. I agree. Derek said, I may not be the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I'm not the spoon. I know that's right. I know that's right. But sometimes too, having conversations with people, it can be so challenging with talking to them where you like, I can't even do this anymore. Like, that's kind of how, I don't necessarily feel that way a lot of times when I'll talk to people in person, but like looking at reality TV, like I can't bring myself to watch like a lot of like the ratchet reality TV, because with the shenanigans and the things that take place, I just can't do it. Like I literally can't get through the experience because it's just so far out there to where I'm sorry, y'all. I just can't. I can't. I will add fun fact about Sheik. I have a very low tolerance for stupidity. I just can't. And most of the time, the people I encounter in person, that's not what I'm getting from them. But like when I see things like on TV or the reality show, the shenanigans, as Louis say, I just can't do it. Thanks for that. That's a good word. The shenanigans. I can't do the shenanigans. I can't do it. So it's like TV. That's why I say you all got to watch take into account a lot of the stuff that you see on TV. It's like TV-ish, because like my real life experiences don't be like that shit you see on the reality TV shows, like the Love and Hip Hop or the Housewives. Like, that's not what my real life experience be like when I engage with people. So I engage with people very fine. But when I see that shit on TV or on the internet, I can't damn do it. I literally can't do it. I can't. I just can't. It's too much. And I'm a strong person. I'm very strong. But I can't do that shit. I'm sorry, I can't. So everybody got their damn limitations. And I done told y'all what mine is. So nobody can't. Don't be sending me no shit dealing with no Love and Hip Hop, no Housewives. All the ratchet. No Tokyo Tony. I can't do it. I can't do it, y'all. I can't do it. That's the line I draw. That is the line I draw. So everybody got their thing, they tolerance level. Luis Rojas said, Love and hip hop does stuff. Like, I just can't. But that's just me, So those who can entertain and engage it, like, that's you. I'm just saying, I just can't. Like, it's just beyond my depths. I just can't do it. But, when I come encounter with people, I have typically good experiences with them. But this is great conversation with you all. We talked about a lot of things. We did start out with talking about politics, and then I segued into just life lessons. And I tend to do that. My channels, I've been on the internet as a content creator for some years now. So I've talked about so many things. I've done celebrity entertainment on my larger channel now, you all. So you want to follow me over there. That channel is called just Sheik Speaks. So that was my first channel. But I've covered celebrity entertainment, fitness. I've done like live fitness workouts. You want to know how to, I got videos on my large channel, Sheik Speaks. So just Sheik Speaks. talk about that, how to kind of keep yourself up. And, I would do live workouts. I have live workout videos over there, so you can catch those. And I've reacted to other, viral things on the internet, other content creators. So I've been around for a little bit, I think since 2020. So I have like a lot of different type of content out there, but a lot of it is heavy on just life stuff, just this shit that people just struggle with. The things that I know I've come to learn just from just life lessons, because much of what I talk about and share and teach, it's not from my education. It's from life experiences. Now, my education does back and support a lot of the things that I talk about, but it's mainly rooted in like my life experiences. It's like rooted in that. It's rooted in that. So don't ever feel like just because your education level isn't where someone else's is that you're less than. Don't do that. What do you know? What have you experienced? What have your life experiences been like? That's what it's about. It's not about like, how many degrees you got, how much damn debt you got for them damn degrees. It's just about like, what have life taught you? What have you learned? Regardless of where you learn it, what have you learned? Because you live long enough, you're going to learn some things. What have you learned? That's what it's about. So I come out here and I just share shit that I've just learned. And whoever's supposed to hear it, baby, you just going to hear it. You're going to find your way to the damn live or the replay. But whoever's my message is meant for, that's who it's meant for. That's who it's meant for. Whoever it's meant for is meant for. So if you like my message, feel free, like the video, subscribe, follow me. Subscribe, follow me. I'm not on really any set schedule in the mornings during the week. In my commute, I do the Car Chronicles, so I'll talk about politics and updates for that. And then sometimes in the evenings, like now on Friday night, I'll do the nightcap and just talk about just the political shenanigans. And I might throw in some real life stuff that we did tonight. So if you're here for any of that, so definitely subscribe to the channel, like, share, and subscribe. But I enjoy engaging with you all. I appreciate you all for tapping in. Louise said the shenanigans. I love it. It's the shenanigans for me. It's the shenanigans for me. I appreciate it. Thank you for tapping in, Louise. But yeah, make sure you got your notification bells hit so you know when I go live. And listen, it's 12:30. It's Saturday where I'm at. So I hope you all have a wonderful. Thank you, James. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And I will catch you on the next broadcast. Peace. Bailey says, Bailey.